peoples? We're back with another episode of Scram Punks. Today we want to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 and Rockstar and the controversy surrounding work hours. We're going to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Is it taking over? And we're going to talk about Fallout 76 having a gaffe with its lore and much more. But before we get into that, let's introduce the panel for today. We are down one person, but it's going to be okay because me and this other cat, we are going to rock it out today. It's going to be a fire show. We got a lot to talk about, but let me introduce him to you. You know who he is. Dirt McGirt. That's his motherfucking name. Dirt Riggedy. What's up, Dirt? What's going on, man?
What's going on with you, man? I'm so happy to be here.
Another week, man. This is going to be, man. You know what? These times between like the holiday season and stuff like that, people think that there's not really a lot of news going on. But if you look hard enough, you can find some diamonds in the rough. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about. And then, of course, it's your boy, MM2K, a.k.a. Radio Raheem, doing it again. TRS is on the road. He can't make it today, but he is listening in spirit, I think. If in spirit, literally, I think his ass is drunk. But either way, we still going to get on with the show. So before we get into those hot topics, I want to get the gaming week. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk a little bit about mine. It's a little interesting, but I want to get Griggity's first. So Griggity, what you been getting into, man, since the last show?
Definitely that Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Woo! I've been on that. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy. I'm, kind of okay with Call of Duty. Not a big fan, but I've been on that a lot. Like me and my homies been on it. So yeah, I've been having a good time with that, man. I'm still trying to finish the Spider-Man. I don't know. I've been kind of taking my time with that game, but that's about it, man.
Yeah. Yo, big ups to 706 Gamer and Lex Prez. Where you been at, bro? Big ups to the chat. Big ups to the chat. Good to see everybody. Can y'all hear us good? Let us know if y'all can hear everything fine and dandy. Unfortunately, my little ticker down here is lying. Live calls are not open. We're still having technical difficulties. But we will get it together. I promise. It took a little bit more than I expected. Or closed. Let me make sure I make that very, very well noticeable. Live calls are closed. Sorry. But that's what's up, man. Hey, Griggity, did you get a chance to get into that? What do you call that? Did you get an invite to the project stream?
No.
Oh, okay. I did, and I haven't taken advantage of it yet, but I will soon. Anything else you've been getting into, man?
No, man, not really. As far as gaming goes, of course, I'm playing 2K on a regular basis. Yeah. But like I said, I'm trying to finish the Spider-Man. Then I'm gonna get back to the Tomb Raider, and by that time I'm done with Tomb Raider, probably get on that Red Dead 2 when that comes out. So
yeah. That's another big one, but you know me, man. You know me, I'm the hater. MM2K is the hater. You know me, I'm the Bethesda guy, so I'm waiting on Bethesda. No, that's cool. That's what's up. Basically, as far as my gaming week, man, if y'all haven't seen, I'm still trying to be God of War. 11,000th hour, as I said in my stream. I got another 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think it was. Me and my boy, Mr. Righteous Fish, man. He was hanging it out with me, man.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, that's the homie, man. That guy shows mad support.
Yeah. Big up to Mr. Righteous Fish, man. Dude shows mad love, man. I appreciate it. And if y'all can show some mad love, too, for anybody that's listening, whether you're listening live, whether you're listening, you know what I'm saying, via the podcast platforms, the iTunes, the Stitchers, and all that stuff, retweet this out, man. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate it. It means a lot. So with that being said, I'm trying to tweet this out. Okay, I was trying to tweet this out to the gaming groups. I thought they kicked me off for one, Griggity. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And you know what? I know we talked a little bit before the pre-show about some of these topics and all that other stuff. But another thing that I've been wanting to do is because you and TRS do a heck of a lot more gaming than I do, and y'all put out a lot more material than I do. You know, unfortunately, I'm just Radio Raheem, just sitting there eating my Cheetos and picking my navel and trying to broadcast. But you did a couple videos since the last show. Could you talk about them a little bit? Let the people know. I mean, don't give the whole shebang. We want them to go and support your channel. You know what I'm saying? But if you could talk about videos you done since the last show.
Most definitely. I did 2 videos since last show, I believe. The first video, shit, man, hold on. I forgot what the hell I did, man.
Well, I know you did the one about the the 5 most underrated games. That was definitely fire.
I did one earlier today. My top 5 most underrated games of this generation. I haven't got any unsubs yet, but I guess because these are underrated. But because when I did the most overrated games, I asked the people unsub, like, man, this nigga don't know what he's doing. Talking about unsub with the quickness, but I also did a video talking about the Xbox. If there's anybody that's new to this podcast, I'm Dirk Griggity, and I'm an Xbox fan, which appears to be kind of a bad thing nowadays.
It's too taboo.
Yeah. So I did a video pretty much saying how I like the Xbox, and people keep on saying they're not improving, or they want them to improve, but they don't improve. I mean, they don't want them to improve, really, is what I meant to say. And yeah, man, so there's some things I was talking about. Check out my channel, Dirk Griggity. I got a dog shit channel, but I'm trying my best, you know what I'm saying, to keep fresh content going on. And that's about it, man. I like Xbox. What can I say?
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. And look, and that's a perfect segue, I think, into our first topic of discussion, which is the homie. I would play it, but he might, he might trademark strike me or something like that. No, but the homie, I urge you, not only after you go check out Griggity's channel, there's a particular video that Griggity and I were discussing before the show, and I want to actually shed light on it here. What we both do. And that is a video that the homie Randolph Thor 19 had did a couple days ago. If y'all don't know who Randolph Thor 19 is, he is YouTube. He's a content creator, former co-host of the show TXR, one of my personal favorites that he did with Tim Dog and some other people. And he graced us with his presence on our show several weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It was a hot show. He did a video. Now, what Randolph Thor likes to do is he's an Xbox guy. He's known as the man with $1 million. He personally plays with Phil Spencer. Pause. Now, he personally plays games with Phil Spencer, and he plays games with Mike Ybarra. You know what I'm saying? He knows the Xbox execs. Okay, they all know who he is, right? And he provides content, and he comes straight down the middle, even though those are the people that he plays with. Sometimes, and he explained on our podcast that how that's led to some rocky situations between him and some of those execs. But he came out with a very good video where it's a very mature video. So if you're one for the fuck shit and you just want to be an asshole, then this video might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you that really have a diversity of thought, and you really like to use your brain, your frontal lobe, all right, and not just let it waste away, this is a good video for you to watch. Really think about, like, why do you just hate stuff just to hate it? You know what I mean? Like, Griggity, like I was saying, we were talking earlier, back in our day, and we're going to talk about back in our day because the show is called Scram Punks, okay? Right. If you can't deal with the Metamucil and the Geritol, then that's shame on your punk ass. Back in our day, when if I didn't like Three's Company, I wasn't a big fan of Three's Company. Okay, Three's Company is on. Oh man, I don't want to see that. Guess what I did? I turned the channel. I didn't go outside with a magic marker with a Sharpie. Right, the Three's Company must go. I hate Three's Company. You're lame. You're trash. I didn't do that. I just turned the damn channel. Right. And with so much content out there and so many people out there on YouTube preaching to the choir, I don't get where people can't exercise that a little bit more besides just throwing these fits of rage. You know what I'm saying? But what are your thoughts, Griggity? What are your thoughts on what Randolph Thor had to say, and how did his video strike you?
Listen, man, Randolph Thor hit the nail right on the head with his video. He pretty much saying, I'm paraphrasing here, but he pretty much said, why is there so much Xbox hate? So much hate. Like, what did Xbox do to you? You know, I like to call some of it premeditated hate. Like, they hate it before they even, like, okay, shout out to my man Jay Wags, right? You know, no matter what they do,
yeah,
it's gonna be a hate video from him, no matter what they do. Like, why is there so much hate? I understand things haven't been that great this generation, and you know, Rand like alluded to all of these things. But why is there so much hate on Reset Era, which, you know, is the new NeoGAF pretty much?
Exactly.
Just constant hate. Like that guy, what's his name? I can't pronounce his name. But the guy that appears to be an insider that was on Reset Era, dropping all types of news, and people kept on attacking him, and he pretty much had to give Reset Era a rest. Now he's on Twitter. I can't think of his name. But he appears to be an Xbox insider, a legit Xbox insider. Yep. You know, just constant hate. I remember earlier in this generation, shout out to my man Zaire. He was literally the first Xbox guy I saw early this generation. And I remember him getting so many dislikes, and same thing with Crap Gamer, so many dislikes just because people has this hate for Microsoft. Yeah. What do you think it comes from, Moss? I'm trying to figure it out myself. I mean, I understand, you know, some people don't like that brand that much. That's fine. Yep. But why the hate? Like you said, well, when I grew up, if I didn't like something, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, just turn the channel. Just turn the channel.
Now, people go to these videos just to leave hateful messages, just to say, like Rand said, X sluts. X this, X bombs, Xbox. Come on, man.
It's over the top.
It's over the top, bro.
But here's so it's we talked about this before, because you know it's funny that you mentioned the homie J Wags. Big up to the homie J Wags. It is, I mean, his platform is his platform, and you know, it is what it is. But both you and I simultaneously experienced that whole why you want the chicken fingers, eat spaghetti with the rest of us syndrome, right? No, I don't want the spaghetti. I want the chicken fingers. Why are you arguing with me about me wanting the chicken fingers? That's what gaming has become. And for older cats like me and Griggity and TRS, who used to, you know what I'm saying, appreciate the tabletop dudes, appreciate strictly the fighter guys, appreciate just the racer guys, appreciate the guys that just like the Sega Genesis, appreciate the guys like Super Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? We appreciated diversity of thought. Yeah, coming from that ilk. Seeing this right now and being told, oh, we don't care about where you come from, where your lineage comes from. Look, y'all mind state is screwed up nowadays. Okay? Your mind state is screwed up. This is not where gaming started, and this is where it's not supposed to head. And if you don't care so much about what we think, your favorite games, like we're old fossils and we don't matter anymore, your favorite games are developed by people our age or even older.
Right.
It ain't young motherfuckers your age. Excuse my, you know what I'm saying? It ain't young, right. You know, Similac breath, trolls like y'all. No, it's people our age. So we do make a difference. And instead of sitting there trying to drive this off the cliff like Thelma and Louise, listen to what we have to say. Like, calm down. But I'm going to say this real quick, Griggity, before we move on, before we get your thoughts on it too as well, before we move on. This is where it came from. And I would love to get Randolph Thor back on the show so he can elaborate on this or just be able to talk to him a little bit more, because he was asking that over and over, like, where does it come from? I don't get it, to the point to where at the end, I don't want to spoil the video. You got to see it for yourself, to where at the end he makes it a powerful declaration in my mind. But here's where it comes from. I know because when I was in college, right when Microsoft was first starting to, you know, get a shebang bang going, right? And they started going to the antitrust and the hostile takeovers. And people didn't like it. People didn't like it in the States too. You know what I'm saying? It was the first super conglomerate, as I like to call it, company before Walmart. And I remember writing a paper about Microsoft and Bill Gates. And I was like, you know, they're just clever strategists business-wise. And my teacher flunked me on my paper. I even got booed when I was reading my paper. I was like, damn, was it this bad?
Damn.
Like, no, man. He was like, the paper was well written, but I don't like Microsoft. Dude, this is my teacher, my professor. He hated Microsoft so bad that he was willing to even tell me his bias, putting his job at risk.
Damn.
Microsoft. You got to redo it. And I had to redo it to where I didn't put Microsoft. Not that he thought that my part of it was it wasn't that it was not factual. It's just he didn't like Microsoft. So to close off with that, so imagine you're someone. His name is Mr. Sanchez. So say Mr. Sanchez has a son, Sanchez Jr. Sanchez Jr. got a PlayStation 1, right? Got a PlayStation 1. He loves his PlayStation. He started gaming, and PlayStation is how he was introduced to the gaming world. There's a lot of people like that. Gregory and I, we've been gaming well before that, but there's a lot of people that, and Final Fantasy 7 and Tomb Raider, that was their introduction to gaming, and it has an emotional tear in their soul. That era, it means so much to them, right?
Right.
So imagine you're playing your PlayStation 1 and you hear Papa Sanchez coming home every day. Goddamn Microsoft, a student wrote a paper about Microsoft. It was well written, but I hate them bastards. And you're young Timmy Sanchez, and you're like, dang, that Microsoft must be evil. Right. For a few years, PlayStation 2 comes out. Now Microsoft is trying to infiltrate your beloved of gaming. You done heard all this stuff. Everybody hate Microsoft. That's why you come off the bat with people hating Microsoft to the point where they say crazy shit like ever since Microsoft entered the gaming has become worse.
Yeah.
That's where that mind state comes from.
I read that too.
That's where that mind state comes from. That comes from being, embedded, like Dave Chappelle used to joke. I didn't know I was predisposed to liking Chicken Crunch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These people have been predisposed to hate Microsoft before they even got into gaming. So when Microsoft beat their beloved PlayStation, regardless, even you're getting new age games, they didn't care about that. Their beloved PlayStation was losing last generation, and they hated that. And to see PlayStation start this generation off so much better, people were emotionally riled up by that. I remember after this E3 Griggity that started this generation, I saw people crying in the stands for PlayStation because they're like, PlayStation's going to start this off right up. People were crying. One motherfucker held up a championship belt like he was The Rock. What the fuck did you win? Where's your paycheck? What did you win? You know what I'm saying? So you have all these emotions tied to Sony that in a positive light, I think too much so. And you have all these negative emotions associated to Microsoft just as a company. And I also think too much so. With all that abundance of emotion, negative and positive, just banging against each other, you create situations that Rand spoke about. You know what I'm saying? That's my rambling old man take of it. But what are your thoughts on that? You think I'm going a little over the top or what?
No. That's fine. And, Rand said something else that I 100% agree with. He said he doesn't like Nintendo, but he doesn't go on Nintendo fans pages and bashing up like me. I don't like Nintendo at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've done a video maybe once or twice on my channel, just saying a couple things about Nintendo. I'm not a fan. I don't talk about them. I don't care about them. They're pretty much irrelevant to me. So if you think something is irrelevant, why do you care so much, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't mean anything to you, why do you care so much? Like an old chick I used to date. I can't stand the broad. Right? If I don't like her, why I'm on her Facebook page, look, what's she doing? Who she dating? I don't care.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So why, if you don't like Xbox, that's absolutely fine. But why are we X-sluts?
Mm-hmm.
And even vice versa, if there are some Xbox guys out there bashing PlayStation guys because they like PlayStation, that's the same thing. I just don't get that mentality. I really don't get it.
I think the best remedy, think about it like this. This is where I say, and people may say, and I'll read what's being said in the chat too, because I think it's a lot of interesting points being put out there. But I will say that you can't tell me, Griggity, I've been doing this for too long. You can't tell me that a lot of people don't feel that way because they're just simply shook. There's a lot of people that are shook. Nobody, look, again, you're Timmy Sanchez. You're used to PlayStation. You heard about this behemoth Nintendo. You heard about them. You really didn't experience it, but you heard about it. You played the N64 and the Mario 64 and the GoldenEye, but the real behemoth was PlayStation. So that's what you're used to. Nobody's ever taken out PlayStation until that greedy Microsoft with the greedy antics, right? They're shook. Because here's the thing, Griggity, you're going out on a nice date, or you're taking your wife out, you're getting dressed up or whatever. And let's just say y'all going to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, right? Y'all have one of those in y'all. Okay.
Yep, in Troy, Michigan.
Ruth Chris Steakhouse, y'all all dressed up.
Right.
While you're waiting for your food, are you going online seeing what the hell's being served at McDonald's?
Of course not.
So if y'all PlayStation cats think Microsoft is so horrible, if they're so deplorable, what do you keep peeking over here for? What are you worried about what's over here for? Y'all supposed to be the Ruth Chris Steakhouse of the gang, right?
Right.
You know, y'all worried about what's going on at McDonald's. See, that don't make any sense. If I'm driving a Porsche, I'm not going to the Prius. I wonder what type of tires they put on the Prius. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. See, that's what I'm saying. All this stuff doesn't make sense. The audio doesn't match the visuals. So there's a lot of hate that Rand talked about in that video that makes a lot of sense. And if you're one that maybe you do go over a little bit emotionally, listen to Rand's video. You know what I'm saying? Take some of them doses. He put on his medicine road with that video, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Right.
He put over the shop out with that one, man.
It was a damn good video, man.
Yeah, it's a hell of a video. Y'all need to check it out. Let's go to the chat. Homie, Mr. Righteous Fish said, yo, he said, oh no, here comes the Jamaicans, hide the women. He's crazy. Let me see here. Oh, the D Almighty's in here. Butter's in here. What big ups to CD Mac 5? What's up? He said it's the tribal mentality. Same shit goes in politics. Absolutely right. In sports too. You know?
Yeah, sports too, yeah.
Sports too, definitely. All right. So yeah, that what a way to get those juices flowing. You see, you always starting shit, Gregory. You see that?
Hey man, I just say that's a good ass video. One more quick thing before we go to the next topic. Yes, I get liking your brand. We can debate all day. That's fun. That's fun. Let's debate all day. That's fun. But when it gets X slut, you X fag, and all that stuff, that's when the issue comes in with me.
Exactly.
With the disrespectful stuff, man. It don't have to be like that. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody talks a little bit of stuff, but you know what it reminds me of, Griggity? I brought up the sports reference. I'm from Pittsburgh, even though I don't like the Steelers. That's just me. And I know that's unheard of because we're all supposed to be predisposed like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't never heard of that
before. They broke my heart way back in the day, man. So I moved on. However, this whole thing between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, it gets deep, man.
Yeah,
people get attacked. Like Baltimore people get caught in downtown Pittsburgh, they get attacked, and Pittsburgh people get caught in it's, you know, and it originated from the Cleveland Browns thing. It's serious, and it's football. You're not on the field,
right?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, are you getting a check from the NFL? No, you're not. Like, what is this all about? All because a group of motherfuckers that play football that's supposed to represent your city. Most of them ain't even from your area. All right. You gonna beat somebody else for wearing up another jet? No, come on, man. Like, but it's that same mentality. It's that same. You gotta want the spaghetti like I do, or else we're gonna fight. I'm gonna stab you with the spork. If you spaghetti like I do, it's ridiculous.
And like you said, trash talking is fun, but when it gets to that point, man, come on, man. Like you said, you about like this spaghetti like I do. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
I'm gonna whoop your ass. Exactly. Butter says toxic fanboy mindset. Mr. Righteous says Yankee versus yeah, man. It's everywhere though. It's a shame though. It's just, you know what? Because here's why I say it's a shame, and I'm bringing it up. And even though the chat is bringing up a good point, Griggity, they're like it's everywhere. So what are y'all whining about? But here's the thing, Griggity. What a lot of people in this chat may not remember, maybe Mr. Righteous Fish and Bang House. You know, a lot of the older gamers like us. It was never like this back in the day, right? Like if you had a preference for gaming, at least gaming was separate from this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's only when gaming became more mainstream that those mainstream bad habits started to infiltrate the gaming thing, right?
Yep.
So as y'all are looking at us, like, well, how come you don't want to eat the goddamn spaghetti with us? We're looking at you like, where did y'all come from? Who sent y'all? Who made y'all? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Tabletop cats. We like the cats only like Nintendo, the cats only like Genesis. We appreciate everybody. You know what I mean? So
shit, like me and my friend, I had a Sega Master System, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was never a Nintendo guy. I mean, even as a kid, I wasn't a Nintendo guy.
Yep.
He had an NES. I had a Sega Master System. Man, we I used to go over his house to play Double Dribble. He used to come to my house to play that dog shit Sega Master System games. We had a good time. We never used to argue about the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know, man.
And I was a Genesis. I mean, I was a Nintendo guy, and I hated the Master System, right? But I would play the games. I just, I had both of them. That was just me. I had to pick one. You know what I'm saying? That was just my mind state. Next generation, I love the Sega Genesis. My favorite game of all times is from the Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis was the shit, man.
I love that Genesis was the shit. I hated Super Nintendo. I just hated it.
And you know what? I tried to hate Super Nintendo. It wasn't until their version of Mortal Kombat 2 came out.
Okay.
And was 10 times better than the Sega Genesis version, from the graphics to the sound. I said, shit. I'm showing my age. So at that time, I said, I got to get me a Super Nintendo. I was about 18, man. I had me a little job. I said, let me get me a Super Nintendo. And the console was pretty good. But then that damn PlayStation came out, then it was over with then.
Yeah, when the PlayStation, I'm going to be honest with you. When the PlayStation came out, that's when I started to fade away, because I was we're a couple years apart. I was starting to like get out on my own and shit like that.
Right.
When I was out on my own, like I was pitch broke. Only thing I could do was probably skip rocks. Game I could play, so there was no play. No. Me and my girl at the time had a Sega Saturn.
See, that was a mistake right there.
My cousin gave me a Sega Saturn, and all we had was Virtual Fighter, and we had Gunstar Heroes. And my girlfriend at the time was a big time gamer.
For real?
And that's all me and her played. That's why we play Soul Calibur, the Virtual Fighter. I'm sorry. We played Virtual Fighter and we played Gunstar Heroes. And that's all we could.
That's some good games though.
Yeah. That's it. And then for a while I was out of gaming. But it is what it is, and we appreciated everybody. You know what I'm saying? So check out Rand's video. Definitely. It's a good piece, man. Definitely.
Yep. Check it out.
All right. So Let's get into some of these topics, man. All right, first and foremost, before we hit the super juicy stuff, I want to talk about Tunic. Okay, I don't know if y'all familiar with Tunic. You familiar with Tunic, Griggity?
Not at all.
Okay, Tunic is an indie game. It was shown at E3. It's a Microsoft and PC exclusive.
Okay.
It kind of reminds you. It's a fox. And it kind of reminds you of Zelda, like the old Zelda game, the original one. I thought it was dope. And another indie game that I think is dope is Ashton.
Yeah.
I think Ashton looks dope.
Yeah.
However, these games are getting blurred out, and a lot of indie games are getting blurred out because of the battle over the AAA. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? You think, is it? And then in light of hearing, and this is going to connect to our whole Red Dead Redemption thing, in the light of hearing about all people working thousands of hours a day, you know what I'm saying, and meeting these astronomical deadlines and all this money being paid to make these AAA games, you're talking about 75, 80, 90, $100 million to make and market these games. Mm-hmm. I know they started off this gen, and then we just jumped on AAA games. But do you think that there's some good indie games that are being lost in the shuffle, or do you think it's just time for the AAAs to shine? What are your thoughts?
I think there's always some good indie games that's kind of lost in the shuffle. That's like last generation Xbox 360 had the summer of arcade.
Uh-huh.
And that to me was a way to promote indie games, because I remember looking forward to what they were going to offer on Summer of Arcade. Oh, let's see what new indie games they get, And this generation, they don't have that. And the AAA games, of course, we all want the big AAA games. Like if you go to the movies, you want to see these big blockbuster, big budget movies. Even though these smaller little independent movies, some of them are very good.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's human nature to want to see the bigger, better things. So I guess the same thing with gaming. So it's kind of unfortunate that some of these games are kind of, lost in the whole process of these big games. I was like Ashton, I saw that the development team from Ashton, they posted something today saying Ashton is coming out this year.
Yeah.
So some people are like, okay, cool, win. And some people are like, who gives a shit? So it was just, like you said, man, sometimes they get lost up in the shuffle of the whole big time gaming thing. But me, I'll play indies. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy some indies. Some are good, some aren't. But there's some, you know, just like a game like Ori. Like, do you consider Ori and the Blind Forest indie?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good ass question.
Yeah. So,
but a good game is a good game. Like,
post up in the chat.
One of my favorite games. Oh, see, okay. You just seen? So what up, Post? If you want, hop on in, bro. Hop on in. Let's make it Three's company, if you can. Here's my thing, man. Like my favorite game in 2000, I want to say 2013, was a dead heat between Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider reboot,
right,
and what do you call that goddamn game? Oh, the Van Helsing game for PC.
Okay,
for PC, man, that is like a Diablo over the top scroller, and I didn't think I would like a game like that. I love that game. That was an excellent game, and I recommend it. It's out on Xbox now. I highly recommend that game. The Van Helsing 1, 2 is okay. 3, I really haven't played 3 yet. It's 3 of them, but you carry your progression over to each game. But man, I put a whole bunch of hours into 1, and I like it better than I like Diablo. I think it's better than Diablo. Sorry. You know. So yeah, there's some diamonds in the rough, man. And me, around 2013 is when I built my real first gaming rig. And never really looked back as far as, dedicating myself to that gaming rig. So I found some gems on Steam, and I think it's always good to just, as long as things are cheap, like you can go to Humble Bundle. If you got a PC, go to Humble Bundle, just try out some things. You know what I'm saying? But everything got to be AAA. When we want everything, when everything has to be AAA, then I think you run into situations like we're going to talk about later with Red Dead Redemption. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, everything can be AAA, man.
Exactly. You got let everybody got to breathe in this atmosphere, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right. So, with that being said, I think we're ready to let's just pull the goddamn scab off the room. Let's not make the people wait any longer, man. All right. So, Griggity.
Yes, sir.
Red Dead Redemption 2 and Rockstar controversy, bro. All right, look. Here's the deal. I done seen a lot of people talking about Rockstar torturing people. Oh man, stop all the crime, man. Stop the crime, man. Look, and for those of y'all that don't know the history, there was an article that came out, and it said, one of the creative directors or somebody associated to Rockstar said, "Hey, look, game is coming out. We're real excited about it. Hey," and they were even bragging and boasting, "Hey, we're putting in 100-hour days. You know what I'm saying? Or 100-hour weeks. I mean." For this game to come out, and some in the gaming community was like, hold on, what are you bragging about this for? This ain't nothing to brag about, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand there's got to be some hard work, but you shouldn't be proud that people are having to work 100-hour weeks. I mean, I don't think people understand. When you say 100-hour weeks, you're damn well close to 20 hours a day. You know?
Yeah.
Goddamn time. So they're like, that's nothing to brag about, right? So then he clarified and he said, no. It was just 5 of us. But then after that, there were several people that came out after the fact and said, no. He was right the first time. Like, this is what Rockstar does. Rockstar has people work these strenuous hours. You know what I'm saying? They make you, you don't know that you're working these hours at first. And then they put you in a situation where they'll either end your contract. They'll say, "Oh, look, we're about to get this game out, so therefore, it's going to be a hard crunch for X amount of months or whatever." You originally don't like that, but 1-2 months turns into a year. You had a couple of people, one named Rosie. She was out on Twitter, she worked there, and she said she worked there a while ago, but nothing has changed. Another guy by the name of Dylan, he worked on GTA 5. He said it was in development hell. He was first forced to work 12 to 14-hour days, 6 days a week. And And if he didn't, which you could say, well, I don't really want to do it. Depending upon how your contract was written up, you could either be terminated or you could be blacklisted. Like, the lazy son of a bitch. Don't work with this motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
To go see his family. Fuck his family. You know what I'm saying? You have Rockstar employees and spouses that also wrote a letter to Rockstar a while ago about their practices. So this ain't nothing new, y'all. And talking about how these forceful habits was affecting their spouse's health. Like Rockstar, show some sympathy here. We also had situations where on Reddit it was leaked by somebody, some cat named Osmosis on behalf of Red Dead Insider. And this seems to be a legitimate source because he posted about Red Dead Redemption 2 and told everything that's being released about it now by Rockstar before the game was even announced. And he also talked about how the development was in development hell and there was all these pushbacks and how it was forcing a lot of the industry greats to not just leave Rockstar, but to leave gaming altogether. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that's the thing to me. But before I get into my point, I want to get your thoughts on it, Griggity. Like, what do you think about this? Do you think that it's par for the course or there might be a different problem? And do you think this problem is just symptomatic of Rockstar? What are your thoughts on this?
Man, I've been reading a lot of people tweets about this today. Everybody, obviously have their own opinion about this. As I do, it's crazy to me because I don't know exactly how to feel because of this. I have a personal story. Mm-hmm. Not me personally, but my father, back when I was younger, he used to work in one of the plants in Detroit, the Chrysler plant. And, he was working all the time, man. He told me some stories about, well, he never admitted that he did, but he said people have plant wives because they will never see their real wives, always working, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that it's unfortunate. Part of me feels like, maybe they can just quit, but sometimes it's just not as easy as that. Yeah. Because my wife had a job where they were working her like crazy some years back, man, and it started to stress her out. Yeah. Like, like a guy like me wasn't getting no buns. The kids wasn't really. I was being honest. The kids really wasn't. Bro, yeah. She was tired, man. It was stressing her out. So it's kind of unfortunate, man. But you said this Rockstar has a history of this.
Yeah, the wives of spouses that work there wrote a letter to Rockstar San Diego complaining. This ain't nothing new. So it's a serious thing. Here's.
Now I don't feel sorry for anybody, but
here's it. No. Well, let me get to the chat. Banghouse says MM2K. To be fair, Naughty Dog and CD Projekt Red got backlash for the same thing 2 years ago, and it proves that you got to work to be the best, even Rockstar. What are your thoughts on that, Gregory?
Is it an industry thing? Is it more than just a specific development team? Is it more of an industry thing? Because we had like what's that? The Banghouse said we heard some other stuff from other teams that was similar. Yep. And maybe it's an industry thing.
I think it is an industry thing, but here's why it's a problem, regardless of where it's exposed. I mean, when something gets exposed, there's always going to be somebody that gets exposed first, right? So, unfortunately, you don't get to throw your hands up and say, oh, well, everybody else is doing it, so everybody else is robbing. No, you just got caught first. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to make an example out of you. Here's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from the spectrum of boycott the game, because that defeats the purpose.
Right.
That's like me saying it's a shame that there's no stores by Griggity. He can't get any access to food, so we'll never send food to Detroit ever again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold on, Chief.
Right.
Yeah. So no, despite all of this, regardless of how you feel about it, support the game because this is going to help those people. These people are under contract. But let me give my own personal story. Why I feel the way that I feel a lot from different people out in the community, maybe because I have a different situation. So where I work for a Fortune 500 company. I, at one point in time during my career, I managed managers. Earlier on, we have a call center. I used to manage the call center as well. That's one of the areas I used to manage. And the call center was very antiquated. Every time somebody called in, we would write something up on a form and we would file the form. It was 2000, so it was a while ago. And I was the new kid on the block. Everybody else was like 100,000 years old. I liked the possibilities of like computers and what they could do. And I had just heard about this Microsoft Access. Well, nobody knew how to use it. And I said, wouldn't it be great if we could use Microsoft Access to create a database and store all of our phone calls? But nobody knew how to use it. Nobody knew what the hell it was. So I took it upon myself to teach myself how to use Microsoft Access, learn SQL language, took myself to school that of course the company paid for because I was doing it, and taught and with 3 other developers that I had working for me in another area, we created a call system. Now, doing that, I worked 16 hours a day to get that done. I come home. I didn't have any kids staying with me at the time. I was the bachelor dad. All I did was send the child support check, right? And I even gave up my Saturdays. The only day I had off was Sunday. I gave up my Saturdays to get this done because I was invigorated. It's something that I wanted to do. This was my project, and I wholeheartedly felt because my kids weren't with me at the time. I wasn't married, wasn't in no relationship with anybody. It was just me, myself, and I was the bachelor king, right? So I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And I set the tone for that. I pushed myself because that's what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in control of this thing, right? Now, fast forward a few years later, because of my SQL experience, we had a big server issue with one of the Microsoft servers. I was the only person in the area at the time because it was vacation time and a lot of people weren't there during the summer. I was the only person that had SQL service experience, and nobody else could work with the Microsoft technicians and the database experts to fix this problem. This was a multi-million-dollar problem that somebody had to fix. I had to stay there I had to be there 7 o'clock every morning to 11 o'clock at night every day until this problem got fixed. This problem didn't get fixed for 3 months. Now, again, that wasn't my choice. All of my kids were with me at that time, and I was in a relationship. I was engaged. You see what I'm saying? So I think as a consumer, sometimes we overlook people's personal situations like, oh, well, you know what you're getting into. According to these people, they did not know what was going on. And 2, when you go to school and you spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school, you can't just walk away from that. The economy is bad. I mean, it was bad in a lot of places, and it still ain't where it should be. You know what I'm saying? We're one of the most overworked countries on the planet. So you can't just walk up away, especially if you have families to support. You know what I'm saying? And these people are independent contractors. They're not employees, meaning that they got to pay their own insurance. They've had to go on the market, get Obamacare or whatever the case may be. And
really? I didn't know that.
They're paying, they're independent contractors. They got to subtract their own taxes. They got to calculate their own taxes. See, that's the thing y'all don't understand. That's why I tell y'all to pick up these books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read the goddamn book that changed my life, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. These are not regular employees with 401k plans and HSAs or whatever. They got to pay for their own insurance. Because they're an independent contractor, that puts less liability on these development companies, and they can fire them at will. When you're an LLC, that's why you see the name LLC behind it. Right. When you're an LLC, that means that you can hire independent contractors and you can just get rid of them just like that. You ain't got to go through, you ain't got to pay unemployment insurance and Social Security insurance for them. Okay? Look it up. Wow. These people are putting themselves at risk even more than the average worker. They can't just sit there and say, well, oh, Rockstar, you pulled the okie doke on me. I'm getting away from the table. Now, again, let me recenter this. I am not going on a me player 2 tangent and saying, okay, don't buy the game. What I'm saying is this is something symptomatic of the industry. And what we could probably do as consumers is help push the industry to look for better technology so these people don't have to work so goddamn long. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be pushing for better technology, for better engines and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To where you can work 9 or 10 hours. Maybe you got to, there's nothing you can do. A month before a game comes out, if you read Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, you're going to have that crunch because you got to work out bugs and shit like that. But in these cases where they said at Rockstar they were working 100-hour weeks for a whole fucking year, no.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And as a consumer, you can't be so that cold to say, well, that's what it takes for greatness. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest problem is, listen to this, even if you don't have any sympathy for these people, here's the biggest problem, folks. This is causing top-notch developers not only to leave Rockstar or CD Projekt Red, they're leaving the industry.
Yeah.
Again, they are contractors. They are not employees. They got to pay for their own insurance. They got to withdraw their own taxes. Look it up. When you hear I'm contracted, that means you're getting a 1099-R, not a W-2. You're an independent contractor. Look it up. So you're going through the risk of all that. You've already paid hundreds of thousands of dollars towards school. You might have some IT certification. You're like, fuck that. I'm just going to go into IT. These talented developers are now leaving the industry because of this. So regardless if you don't care about them spending time with their families, watching Golden Girl reruns, that's fine. But you got to understand, the reason why last generation, as far as the type of games that you got, felt more innovative than this generation is the reason. Because of this crunch. So you have to pay attention to this. It ain't about you having a heart and wanting to donate a backpack full of canned goods to somebody. It's about you paying attention and seeing why the quality of your product is going down. This is why it's going down. And that, my friends, is MM2K on his soapbox today. How many viewers did we lose? Oh, we didn't lose any. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Hey, man, that's good shit. What was the name of the guy? He did BioShock. What was the last BioShock?
BioShock Infinite. You talking about Ken Levine?
Infinite. Yes. Because remember, he said it was so stressful that he went to doing indies, didn't he? Yeah. Something like that. He said it was so stressful, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry to cut you. If you ever beat BioShock Infinite, did you ever beat BioShock Infinite, Greg?
No, I didn't. I beat 1 and 2. I never beat Infinite.
You could tell Ken Levine cracked. I thought this dude had smoked some shrooms when he, at the end, it's him and these two musicians, and they're doing this song routine, and it is so spooky. And I said, what the fuck is wrong with Ken Levine? He cracked. Yeah. And he was probably crying out for help. Like, help.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I think a lot of these people that are leaving these tweets saying things like, well, yeah, that's what it takes for greatness. You know, if you work 40 hours a week, like you'll get Sea of Thieves and stuff like that.
Like, stop.
See, man, but like, what if Neil Druckmann say, you know what? The Last of Us 2 took too much out of me. I'm out of here.
Yep.
Then people going to be pissed about it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it's something you got to think about. I think it's selfish of us to really not even really, like I said, I don't feel sorry for him per se, but
yeah,
I understand. You know, like I told a couple stories about my personal life, with my wife, and it affects your family. It does, man. And she wasn't working 100 hours a week. She was working more like 80, but not 100. And it's man. And it affected our marriage for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, my wife, she has to be to work at 4 a.m. I don't have to be to work till, I was joking with Griggity, I get there when I get there. Between 9:30 and 10:30, but I'm there late. I don't get home till 8 o'clock at night, sometimes 9. So we hardly see each other, but we got to make that work as a family. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really see each other till the weekend. That's why MM2 on the real, that's why MM2K don't do a lot of shit on the weekend, except every other weekend. I had to make an agreement with my wife. Can I play with my friends every other Saturday and do this podcast? That's why. There's real life implications behind all this stuff. But even if you don't care about that, that's fine. It is not your job to play We Are the World. Understand that top-notch development. These people. Like, this isn't like a tablet where if you break the tablet, you can just go buy another one because you could just get a replica model. Talent is unique. Okay. So when top-notch talent like Ken Levine says, fuck it, I'm done, it's going to impact the industry.
Absolutely.
You got to think about it like that. So again, and I don't think the answer is boycotting Rockstar because they're only trying to meet your demand. It's not like they're sitting there with whips and, you know, they painted the picture of Amistad on the back of everybody's head. They're only trying to meet your demand. But what we got to do as consumers, we got to say, look, we understand the situation that you're in, that we may have put you in, but we got to figure out something because we don't want these developers to go. So like Rockstar, take, you know, instead of spending $500 million on R&D, you know, take an extra $20 million and look for some new technology that'll cut that time down. You know what I'm saying? So people ain't got to be there till midnight. You know,
right?
That's it. So,
and when I see the Butter said he's trying to get in.
Yeah. Oh, Butter trying to get in? Hold on.
Yeah, he said, yep.
Let me see something. Hold on 1 second, bro. 1 second, bro. Here I come, Butter. But yeah, man. I mean, any other thoughts on that before we? I know Butter want to get in here and get his spill.
No. I ain't got nothing else, man.
Hold on, let me see here. Well, first I got to find the hangout. All right, there we go. There goes that. All right, Butter. All right, whoever wants to join from the crew, come on in. Whoever wants to join from the crew, I'm putting it in. All right, let's go. Butter, I put it in the Broadband Bullies DM. Go have at it, bro. Have at it. But you know, but yeah, that's my thing, man. Is that and again, yeah, and Banghouse says let's go to the chat. So Banghouse says that's one of the reasons why Amy Hennig left Naughty Dog. Definitely. Oh,
yo,
look, hopped in here, bro. What's going on, Butter? You good?
Chilling, man. I was just listening, talking about that whole Rockstar situation. So I'm like, man, listen. I was thinking about that too. Like, as somebody who worked, like, feel me, like, when you got family, that kind of stuff is not really cool. Like, people don't seem to understand. Right. I know people want good games. They're like crunch, like they don't understand like what these developers go through, like throughout that whole entire time developing games. Yep. So I mean, as somebody who does tech too, that kind of bothered me when fans is just like talking like, oh, yes. I mean, what do you expect? You know, we're gonna get good games. They put in hard work. I'm like, you don't understand. They've been working on these games since the beginning. Yes. And then the last finished part, trying to squeeze all of that in, that can affect a lot of them. It's mentally, it can be draining mentally. That's what they don't understand. That kind of work really drains them mentally. And because of that, some people just don't seem to like it. And they will usually have like a bad taste in their mouth and things like that. So I never really liked that. No developers. I don't care how big you are, like how great your games are. Like when it comes down to that crunch time, I never liked that, especially as somebody who's been in the tech field. Exactly. That kind of stuff is very bad. Like it's really not good for a lot of developers. Like they have families at the end of the day. You feel me? Like, you know, and they got to be back home to their families. So when they got to be there extra hours and midnight and they got to go home, go to sleep for like 2 hours, wake up and be back at work. Some people, some don't even go home.
Same shit. Yeah.
Some don't even go home because it's so bad. Because some would literally sleep at their job. That's what they don't seem to understand. Like, I mean, it's cool that they working hard to give you these games, but like they also paying price too. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Like they're paying bigger price than you, like, you know, than the casual that just want to buy the game and play it. So that's what I wanted to say.
It's never, and you're absolutely right. It's never, look, when you're going to school, okay, these development companies, they want people to come in. They want talent to come in. So they don't come in and they'll say, look, at the last minute, you're going to have to work 17-hour days, Butter. They're not going to tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah, they won't.
This game for Rockstar. You'll be on TV. You'll be at E3, right? And so you come in as an independent contractor, again, having to pay your own insurance and all this other shit, right? And then you're told. So okay, so say you move from, all right, I'm from Pittsburgh. So you move from Pittsburgh to San Francisco, right? To be, you know, or San Diego to be a developer.
Yeah.
So my cost of living done already shot up. So now I'm an independent contractor, so I got to really pay attention to my money. Then all of a sudden, Rockstar telling me, hey, look, remember how we told you was going to crunch for a week? You crunching for 9 months. Oh, well, I'm going, and I got a newborn. My wife, I had relocated her. She hasn't found a job yet. You see, this is real life stuff. So to sit there and say, like, these people just know all this stuff offhand, this just shows the ignorance, like what you're talking to, brother, the ignorance of their inexperience to this whole situation. It's a lot deeper than what they think it is, for one.
Bro, as a contractor, man, I definitely understand what you're talking about. Like that kind of stuff, like with no health insurance, because when you like when you get stressed out and sick, the company ain't paying for you. You got to pay out of your own pocket to take care of yourself. Like that's the thing they don't seem to understand. That like when these developers go through so much, in so little time, it can be really stressful. And at the end of the day, when they get sick or anything can happen, Rockstar is not paying jack shit.
Exactly.
Like because they got to pay all that money out of their own pocket to take care of themselves and try to be back to work again. Like
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yep. But let's get past the hallmark part of it. You know what I'm saying? If what I had to say, the example Griggity give you, or Butter's influence in the tech field, if that don't do nothing for you, fine. You're not getting the same quality product. Period. You're not. Like I'm going to put it like this: whether you like PlayStation or Xbox, you can't tell me that you got the same innovation this generation that you got last generation. I mean, look, I'm not even for fuck's sake, I'm not even going to talk about Xbox. Let's talk about PlayStation. You got Last of Us. You got Uncharted, right? You got what else did you get? You got what's that? Dark Souls. You know what I'm saying? You got experience. You got you got games upon top of games that were groundbreaking in ways that even with PlayStation 3, that was supposed to be their dog shit console, you got experiences that were like totally brand new. You didn't get all that this generation. We're not even going to talk about Xbox because Xbox, as far as their exclusive content, I don't think they were nowhere near tapping what they hit last generation. But even PlayStation being ahead where it's at, you can't take this generation's lineup, bump it up against last generation's lineup. Hey, yeah, it's the same exact quality. No, it's not. I'm sorry. The games were more innovative because, you know what I'm saying, people had room to breathe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that this trend just started. This has been a trend happening for years, and not just at Rockstar. It's been happening all through the industry, but it's getting worse. And
you know what?
Go ahead, Butter.
My fault. It's crazy that you talked about that. Like, there's been so much pattern in the industry when developers don't get that much room to breathe. You see the quality in the game. It speaks for itself. But when they get the time to do their work, it comes out great. We've seen that so many times, right? Even Phil even realizes that with the last generation. That's why he wants to make huge changes. He wants to give developers breaks so they can make good quality games. Because people cannot work under stress. Like, it's not possible. Like, it's just impossible to do that.
Mr. Righteous Fish says, I work 100 weeks at a time, but I get taken care of. I think he meant 100 hours a week. He also says, stressful break your body down and get you sick. Yeah,
it really does. Bro. It really does get you sick.
Yes, it does.
But these people don't know that. See, and then I heard, like, big up to Porter Rock. That's the homie. Okay. But Porter Rock had posted something. He said, you don't hear these people that work multiple jobs complaining. That's because they willingly put themselves in that situation. They knew I got to work. Like I said, when I was building that program, that SQL program, that was my baby. So my mind is psychologically set up. It's wired differently. I was in control of that. Nobody was forcing me to do that because I felt like I was in control mentally and psychologically. I wasn't feel like I was being beat down.
Yeah.
And then I was single. You know what I'm saying? I was a wrestler, so I could afford to do that.
Yeah, and when I see that tweet, I'm like, first of all, like, people with multiple jobs, it depends on the type of job we're talking about. If somebody is doing, no offense, like, if they doing 9 to 5, like 7 to 4, right? Yeah. In a grocery store, and they walk into a barbershop sweeping for another 6, 7 hours, that's not the same thing. Like, it's two completely different type of jobs. You feel me?
Right.
Like, one is just way more intense. It doesn't matter. Like, if somebody's working 2, 3 jobs, like the quality of the job matters. like it's really not the same. Like we're talking about these people sitting in the same goddamn chair in front of a screen for like, we're talking about hours and hours. That's that is so stressful on your back, bro. Like, and most of them don't drink shit but coffee. Yeah. Yo, people don't understand this. Like, I'm telling you, they don't know.
And but y'all absolutely right. And like, look, there are jobs where when you sign up for this job, this might be the case. Like a doctor, you're gonna be working some long hours as a doctor, right? You know that going into it.
Yep.
But like you said, Moss, Rockstar, like, yo, you're gonna be working for the biggest video game developers. They didn't tell you that you're gonna be working 100 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what's going on, man. And it's
meet our finances. Right. We thought that we could just do a regular, maybe make y'all work 9 hours. Now we turn it up the heat. We need you to do an extra 5.
I think this has more to do with the release date issue because they probably don't want to push it back, and that's why this has to happen. Yeah. Like, I mean, people don't seem to understand that. Like, this is happening because they want to make sure that their game release on the date and not have to say, hey, we need more time to push it. Like, it's so obvious. That's why they're working them to, to this point. It's because they basically want to release the game on a day that they said they're going to release the game. So let's be honest, if that's not the case, they could just push the day back. Because I know for a fact that's what the case is. I've been noticed. I was like, look, these guys probably need more time. I don't mind that. Like, I don't want them to work like 100 hours a week. Like that's insane. Like, just push it back and give them a little room to breathe. And, when the game comes out, we all going to enjoy it. It's Red Dead. Like, you feel me?
But so Banghouse says something important. He says at MM2K, to be fair, Sony Santa Monica dropped fire even with the crunch, but Sony delays games to take some of the crunch off. That's the thing. But Santa Monica, I think, had 7 years to do God of War. That's some time.
Yeah, they did. They did have a day.
And for 2 years, we know there's going to be crunch at the end. But here's my question to you, Banghouse, and to everybody that's listening, whether you're listening live, whether you're listening later. Think about this. Again, if you don't even care, if this doesn't drop a tear for you or whatever, 2 tears in a bucket, who cares? The simple fact that development, hardcore experience development is leaving, not just a company, but the industry. We're like, fuck it, what else can I do with my degree? I'll just get into IT. I'll get insurance. I'll work on a 401k. I ain't got to deal with this shit. This was my passion, but I ain't got to deal with this shit. How does that make you feel?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at this, people. We have an illustrious guest today. What's up?
What's going on, good brother? What's today's topic, man? Am I fashionably late?
Yeah, you are fashionably late, man.
Hey, give me the actual link to the show so I can tweet it out and everything.
This nigga Nxtgen never on time.
I'm always there, man. I'm always there.
Hold on, let me see.
Are we gonna do that show? We gonna do a do over for Saturday, man?
I don't know if as I was explaining to the cast, I mean to the people listening, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You see me, Z, I put it in the chat.
Okay, all right.
I don't think I can this weekend, but I can.
Okay, okay, no problem. I'll be there for sure. I apologize.
All right, we got you here. Yeah. And I want your thoughts on this, man.
So talk to me.
Okay, this whole Rockstar thing, bro.
Okay, talk to me.
All right, so I don't think that there's been a lot of people saying stuff. Homie Porter Rock was like, hey, man, y'all getting on people working long hours at Rockstar, but what about people that got multiple jobs? But I think there's a lot of details that was missed in translation here.
Wait, hold on. Wait, you put the link inside our chat? Where you put the link?
I put it in the I put it in this chat here in the Hangouts. But let me
okay, all right. So I just well, actually, I don't see it.
Okay, let me put it in. I'm gonna
put the actual link to the show. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. To in our just because I can't see no combo or nothing.
I got you. I put it. But the thing is that as we were talking about, that number one, a lot of these developers, but people don't understand that these developers are not employed.
Okay,
they're contractors.
Okay.
So, Z, I'm part of MM2K development team. I hire you.
Okay, all right.
We'll pay you $90,000 a year, and you're going to work on the lighting and shading and lighting for
the
Hamburger Rush 2. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be a crunch, Z. There's going to be a crunch towards the end of the year. But then I say, okay, the crunch is coming. We're going to start a little bit early. And instead of it becoming a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, it ends up becoming a year.
Okay.
where you're working 16-hour days, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. You don't know when the crunch is going to end. They've also, and this was symptomatic of Rockstar, where they've had spouses of their former contractors writing in talking about, hey, look, we got to do something about it. My spouse is getting sick. And when you're a contractor, you don't get no insurance. They don't even pay your taxes. You got to pay your own goddamn taxes.
Yeah, you're independent contractor. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. You're an independent contractor.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm sorry. So which side of you, because like I said, there was a public outcry or so you say, you know what I mean? Hashtag me too. Now, and listen, I put my tinfoil hat on yesterday. I blamed it on Baron, Obi-Wan, and Dr. Trey. And the reason why I said it, because with over those 100-hour work weeks, nobody could manage to get the shit to put on the switch. You know what I mean? But, I mean, listen, now, listen, here's the thing. I've seen somebody go like they were forced a man to work 100. They're being paid for it. Now we're talking about 100 hours unpaid labor. You know what I mean? A lot of people use it, you know, that extra work or that extra money to, you know, for whatever reason. Now, let me say this, right? And not to get too long-winded, and I want you your fellas to chime in, right? I remember it was one of those dog shit shows at BGST, right? And you know, I don't know if I signed my pony contract or not yet, but I was saying that well, for you look at Destiny, right? And that was in-house, right? Or whatever the case may be. And Microsoft, you know, one of the biggest multi-plats this year, could have been exclusive to their platform, but we're not giving, you know, Bungie, I'm not saying maybe some other thing, but no, it's creative freedom, you know what I mean? Because again, these developers are artistes and they like to create, but Microsoft wanted to keep them in the Halo mode. Just keep turning on Halo, and they wanted to do other things. So we can see what you have is Destiny, right? Mm-hmm. And then Mighty Mouse said something. No, I'm sorry, no, Xbox 4 said something to the fact, well, those guys that stayed behind, they stayed behind because they love Halo and all they wanted to make. I said, no, not true. And I guess I always say you're surprised who watches your show. Motherfucker said, no, I stayed. The reason why I didn't go because job security. I just had twins. You know what I mean? I got health insurance. I got home insurance. I got a lot of shit, you know what I mean? And then it is a job. And like I said, these developers, whoever, they're, you know, greatest, biggest Halo is they don't own Halo. That's Microsoft's goddamn. They don't get an extra percent of that. They're just, you know, working on the goddamn and they're doing the job. So now with that being said, I guess I see the public outcry, but them working 100+ hours, whatever the fuck the case may be. But like I said, again, they're being paid for it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know, I can see if they say, we had some stories that come out and say, hey, you know what? If you don't do these 100 hours, you're going to be fired. And what studio was that not paying motherfuckers? Was that Crytek wasn't paying people? And, you know, that's something totally different. You know what I mean? You want to stand up for the limit. But I don't you know what I mean? I miss either side of the point. Like, you know what I mean? They worked 100 hours and fuck, I mean, they got, you know, like you say, honest day work, honest day pay. Like, I don't understand. Like, I really, what is the backlash from?
All right. Well, as far as Laird and them wanting to boycott the game, I think that's silly. That's like the example that I gave earlier. Like, say, for instance, if Griggity was starving, I'm like, hold on, Griggity is starving, and the city of Detroit ain't hooking up their people with food. Let's never send food to Detroit again. I'm like, hold on, that's not helping out Griggity. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need some food. So, of course, people saying let's boycott Red Dead 2 is dumb. Buy the game, support these people that broke their necks and missed their families to do this shit. But here's the problem. The industry, and as someone that's in the tech field, you know, there's a difference between me saying, like, years ago, I had to create a database for my job. I had to create a call center. You know what I'm saying? Call center database. I taught myself SQL, taught myself how to use Access and all of this stuff. And I personally spent 16 hours a day doing it myself because this was my baby. You know what I'm saying? This was my gift, you know, opposed to you fast forward a few years later where because of that experience, I was the only guy that was available at the time to do SQL. I had to work on a big problem with Microsoft developers and stuff like that. I was forced to work 16 hours days. You know what I'm saying? I had my kids, miss my family. I was engaged, all this other stuff. So there's a big difference. There's a whole different mindset when you're like, okay, I'm in for this. I don't care how long it takes, opposed to, I thought we were doing this, but now you're making me do this. There's that. But here's the bigger problem, Z, is that people are getting burnt out from this. This is people been the wives of, I don't know if you remember this, but the wives of the people that worked at Rockstar in San Diego wrote Rockstar a letter and said, "You're killing our husbands."
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, they were like, "You're killing our husbands." And then there's other people that have been on Twitter. They were like, "Yo, look, A guy that was working on GTA 5 got on Twitter, was like, yo, it was development hell. He was like, it turned from a couple months to a whole year where I was working 16-hour weeks. And he said I could have not done it, but if I wouldn't have done it, they would have done one or two things. If I would have just worked my normal hours, they would have done one or two things. They would have either released my contract, or they kept me and blackballed me. So that's a big thing in the industry. They blackball you.
Okay.
And the problem isn't so much, even if you don't want to feel sorry for them, don't feel sorry for them. But the problem is this is forcing talent to leave the industry. That's what everybody's saying. Is everybody that's wrote letters and all this other stuff. They said, you ain't got to feel sorry for us, but this is forcing talent to leave the industry. And I say, and to me personally, get your thoughts on it, the proof is in the pudding. If you look at last generation, the type of games and the innovation that came out last generation opposed to this generation, I'm not saying no good games came out, but even for PlayStation, you had Last of Us, Uncharted, those were brand new experiences. You really didn't get that this gen. Like, the talent is leaving. You know, I mean, would you agree or no?
Okay, you said as far as the talent, them going to get other jobs?
They're leaving. They're like, man, this crunch is too hard. We're working too much.
I will say this, right? Because I don't know the numbers, and I will have to, to put I would say that studios or developers or publishers are taking less risk, financial risk. You know what I mean? Or what I mean by you get the same Assassin's Creed or the Duty and this, because again, for whatever cost value reasons, whatever, you may have, like I say, the rise of, games as a service or for microtransactions. You know what I mean? This is believe it or not, not believe it or not, but the video game industry in itself, for it to be, more lucrative right now than it's ever been, bigger than movies, it's still a very shaky or not a lot of job security. You know what I mean? Even though you maybe, I'll give you an example, even though, prime example, Crackdown 3, right? Soon to come out, right? Whoever's making it, but you have so many other little smaller teams that are working that are not contracted, just, you know what I mean, like day laborers, you know what I mean? Not everybody gets the lands a job to work for, Rockstar itself. You may work on a game at Rockstar, but you're not working. So as soon as this project is over, you out there filling up, the one that looking for your next gig or whatever the fuck the case may be, But like I said, as far as the mandate, or them, I don't know, bro. I don't know, Moss. I mean, I see the way you're saying as far as, someone maybe being pushed out or whatever, but there's so many. I'll give you an example. Gaming is our hobby, right? And I want you guys to chime in, which we love, right? I would love, how you should say, to be able to, something I'd like to do, make it my job, to actually come out and create a game, how cool as that may be, but, with the daunting task, So those that maybe you have so many people that are coming up, just can't wait to get their foot into the industry itself. There are a lot of woe stories, like you heard from Quantic Dreams, who does what's the Detroit become. There are a lot of horror stories within this industry. You know what I mean? How you say Blackgate, Watergate with the developers. Not even somebody. What's that? When they got together, was blackballing to rate games lower than what they was. There are a lot of shady shit that go on. You know what I mean? In this industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. Before the 100-hour work week, I'm just trying to see the downside. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
go.
No, my thing is that like I said, people don't. My only problem with that is that these guys are contractors, right? At the end of the day, they got to pay for their own health, when shit happens, and that's the biggest problem because you gonna work them to a point. Niggas have to go to hospital, and on top of that, now the doctor's and the doctor's like, look, man. I don't think you can work for some time. They gonna fucking fire their ass because they on contract. That's the biggest problem too. They can just turn around and just be like, we can't put somebody in his place. That's kind of fucked up because you put him through that shit. You didn't give him enough time. You made him work so hard to a point. It's like sitting.
You made him work to eat his babies, man. What the fuck going on?
That's the shit, and that's the problem. With they get all of these contractors and they try to push him to do this 100-hour crunch time, and it's going to be a huge stress for some people, and they can't. And on top of that, they got to shell out a lot of money out of their pocket, to go to hospital and do all that other shit. Because I'm telling you, when you got to sit in that chair for such a long time, it's gonna get to you at some point. It's really gonna get to you.
Hey, Dirt, what you think, Dirt?
Hey, listen, Z. I got a question. Like you said, they're getting paid for it, right? And that's cool, right? But have you ever had a job where you making decent money, but you hated that shit so much? You saying, man, I'd rather take a job making less money, but this shit.
I won't go there, goddamn fuck. I got a bunch of kids. I got a bunch of kids, a bunch of bitches. Now listen. Okay, look. I'll give you. I'll give you my own. I'll lay my own. I only had one legit job in my life. And you told me you might see the job of me working at the Humane Society. But listen, I got that job because I caught a real messed up case. Make a long story short here, right? And I had to get a job. I went from making that job, went from making $7 an hour to about 77 grand a year before I left there. You know what I mean? I love animals. I'm an animal lover. But I hated that fucking job as what did it, you know what I mean? Now, I guess I hate a job to see I'll take less pay. I need the money. You know what I mean? I won't say I had to say I'm a very shallow man, but money. You know what I mean? I don't know. I got too much shit going on financially. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's stress.
I ain't got there yet. I ain't got.
No, I feel you, but I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes that stress is so much. You like, man, fuck this, man. I'll take a less paid job, so I have to deal with this shit, man. Like real talk. You know what I'm saying? I used to work. Y'all probably don't like have any. I don't know. Y'all got Fago there, like the
Fago.
Yeah. Okay, y'all got that there.
Got the who?
Fago Pop. Fago. F-A-Y.
What the hell is that?
Well, okay, so ain't in a new like where the fuck you from, Zay? I don't know.
I'm Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. So I guess it ain't in Jersey. So it's like a soda pop, some pop.
Oh, okay, cheap soda, cheaper. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Fago.
Okay,
so I worked at this place, man. You know, it was making decent money at the time. I'm talking about 1999. Making decent money for me. Man, that motherfucking job, man, I couldn't wait to quit that shit. That shit was so stressful, man. And at the time I was married to my ex-wife, had a couple kids. I was like, man, fuck. I mean, I stuck it out for 2 more weeks, but I had to find me another job with the quickness, man, because it was so stressful on me. Working these 16-hour days, man, fuck this shit. So I can see how it's at a point where people like, man.
Okay, now, here's a question. Like I said, now, if I'm not mistaken, I've been out of the loop for a couple of days. Now, this statement that was made, this was made by Rockstar and saying that, the game was giving so much extra love and kid. I love and concerned that our guys were pulling in 100-hour work weeks to present to you guys this masterpiece. This is the way that they were trying to explain it, right?
Yeah, but he was lying. He lied.
Of course he was lying. Like, that shit was a straight fucking lie. Like,
he lied. And they was saying, yep.
What did he lie about? Tell me, fill me in.
He was saying that, these people were like, oh man, yeah, we're there. We want to put, that they were working hard. But what it was
the best game possible you ever had, right?
They cracked the Amistad whip on them and said, look, all right, we're not happy with where we're at, and we want you to put X amount of hours in this. So y'all gonna be working 100-hour work weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Just set that for the fans, man.
Future. And what I can tell you from experience is when you're forced, it's different. Like even I had labor jobs where I've like put houses up. It's something with coding, man. Sitting because you got to think. You got to, when you're coding something, you got to
stressful, bro. Like
it's not like you're given a specific script and you're like, just type this. You got to think. You got to rework shit. I mean, it's stressing on the brain. And when you're forced to do that shit, man, you're ready to kill. I was ready to kill motherfuckers, man.
And the crazy shit is this: like people that do graphic design with the pen and all of that shit fucks with your wrist at some point. Like I'm telling you, I work with a lot of people, and they've said the same shit after a certain amount of time. Like they holding their wrist. Because that shit starts to hurt. Like being in that chair doing that shit.
So listen, not to be insensitive. So what are you guys saying? You guys are saying,
I know you.
Listen, you gonna say, you know what? You gonna pull okay, Megan? You know what? I'm gonna pick it up on Black Friday, $30.
Hold on, let me say this.
I'm just not feeling it. You know what I mean? It's not crazy.
Let me say this. Z. I'm not saying I feel sorry for the people. I'm not saying I'm about to ban Red Dead 2. I'm not about to. I'm not buying that game. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's kind of fucked up that they're being put through this. I know what you're saying. It's their job and blah, blah, blah. But like Moss said, it's different if you know you're going to be working these hours from the beginning until they're making you work these hours. Like you're working 16 hours day to day and don't say shit. This is what you're doing. And that's some stressful shit, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think the answer isn't like learning them, like you said, Z. I agree with you 100% on that. Them motherfuckers just mad because that shit ain't gonna run on 35p on the goddamn Switch. That's the only reason why they want boycott it. They try to ruin everybody's high and shit. But the answer isn't boycotting the game. I think the answer is going back to the whole industry and be like, look, we know we want AAA games and we know the pressure that we put on y'all, but can y'all put aside some money for some research and development on some better engines? So these motherfuckers ain't got to work 69. Maybe they can just crunch it off for 10 hours. You know, there's technology out there that I'm pretty sure can cut some of this shit down. Nobody's just investing in it.
All right. So I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to find. So you guys are upset that these developers had to do 100-hour work weeks, right? Which is cool.
No, I'm not upset about it.
No, I'm not upset. I'm just gonna say like
no. But I heard someone. Man, what about that white? What about that white daddy Riz? What about they Riz?
Listen. White daddy. Look, my whole point is this, right? Like, if these niggas end up like can't work for some reason, like it's kind of gonna be fucked up because then they gotta like take care of themselves with the money they making.
How they gonna
like,
wipe their ass? Look, they've been Red Dead Redemption 2 for 1 hour. They gotta at least get some sort of coverage. No, they can't wipe their ass.
Like they gotta get some type of coverage, like because I just think that's kind of fucked up because like they could just fuck around and just like blow their contract off like that. Like
I'm saying this, Z. There's a couple examples where people literally said, "I was about to snap." That's some scary shit because I know there's a couple of motherfuckers that I've worked with. And they're like, we're about to, I'm not feeling it. I would love to blow away these people here in this building. And I had to call security and get them motherfuckers taken out. Like, you know, you got to go, bro. I'm not gonna be no lifetime after movie special. No, you gotta get. So like people are like, I'm ready to snap. And Rockstar's looking at them like, okay, snap on that desk and do that graphic design art. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are just being pushed to the limits. It's not like, oh man, we got to make it up this hill, Z. Come on, man, we're almost there. It's not like that. It's like, whoa, I didn't know this was going to be this intense. And they feel like their back is up against the wall and you're creating bad situations for them. And I'm not saying again that we got to shut down Rockstar. I'm just saying, like, if we can as a community try to help the community as a whole, try to look at alternatives down the road. It's not going to happen overnight.
I know. All I got to say is, where's that same energy when my man Donnie D lost his job?
Oh shit!
Fucking the gloves is off.
Donnie D. Hey man, but I got one more thing to say.
I'm just saying, like, if they're gonna push the game back, push it back. You feel me? That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, but this is my thing though. They're still working 100 hours a week, but the fucking like what's that? Like Red Dead Redemption came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So what they been doing? I mean, well,
what they do Grand Theft.
They do Grand Theft. Okay, you're right. See, I was kind of thinking like two different teams doing that, but I guess it's not. It's like the same team.
What's that? Rockstar? They do shit.
Yeah, you're right about that.
They do Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead. It's only as of late. You know what I mean? That's what they do.
Yeah, that's true.
They handle it with the the DLC. You know. But I mean, don't get me wrong, they do milk this shit. You know what I mean? They stress this shit up. But here's a question. I think, what, not make a big point. Now, listen, as far as the 100-hour work week, that's, whatever it is, whether they get a job and they get 100 hours and it is what it is. But what about the fact, again, that the game was launching with no multiplayer? You know what I mean? And
what they always do, don't they?
No, that's something they started with Grand Theft Auto 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. They released the game. And that's, I see someone in boycott, like, damn, you got the balls to sell me half the game for the game. You know what I mean? More of that as far as them working 60-hour work weeks. Whatever 100-hour work week. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And now we talking about unpaid labor. You know what I mean? There's something different, but however the fuck it go. But again, how do you guys feel? Again, they releasing the game.
Mm-hmm.
A highly anticipated game, you know what I mean, without the multiplayer. Is that Rockstar is saying, saying, hey, you know what I mean, we white daddy, and when Grand Theft Auto came out, I believe it came out in October of 2013, right? Mm-hmm. It came out a month before. Yeah, it came out in October, a month before the next generation console. That's why I didn't get it. Yeah. How long was that before they released the multiplayer?
It was about the same. About
a month.
It was about a month. Yeah,
it took them about a month to release the multiplayer.
Yeah, I remember because I got that one on when that shit launched.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. I didn't get it because the next generation consoles was next month, and it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, damn, And listen, arguably said, like, not even arguably, that the multiplayer Red Dead Redemption is bigger than the single player. It's going to be bigger than the single player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the single player is supposed to be 65 hours.
Well, I'm not talking about far as, well, even with Grand Theft Auto, being honest with you, that game, like, who really thinks about, well, not even think, shit, this is coming from Rockstar. They released some stats of actual people they actually beat the campaign, the story to, you know what I mean? Or, the straight, we go straight to the multiplayer, bottle shark cards. Grand Theft Auto is all about the multiplayer now. You know what I mean?
Well, Z, I'm not saying it's right, but unfortunately, some teams just get passes, man. And they just get it. Like, Rockstar is one of those development teams that get a free pass, man. Whatever they do, they can say, yeah, maybe like putting a half of the game this March, motherfucker, the next.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something okay. I'm saying. If people are going to, I guess, be up in arms about it, like, God damn, where's the multiplayer portion of the goddamn game?
You're saying that they should be focused on that. Well, I think they're connected, Z. I think what happened is, like, there's crazy stats for the game. There's 3,000 motion cap signals when the average AAA game has 400. There's tens of thousands of dialogue script when the average game has a few hundred. So I think what happens is Rockstar tries to aim so big with some of this nook and cranny shit that they end up spending more time than they thought that they would spend. And then they try to crunch it all together at the end. And then they tell us, okay, well, you're going to wait for the most anticipated part later. So so the whole making people work 100 hours a week thing could be symptomatic of the whole industry. But what Rockstar ends up doing on top of that is symptomatic of Rockstar. So maybe we do have to say, hold on. If you're going to sit here and work people, I'm going to starve people to death, at least give us the goddamn multiplayer shit. Who cares if there's 600,000 lines of dialogue that it's just there for the sake of it being there? Who cares? Like,
Okay, well, here's the thing. Like,
and that's why I buy GTA 5 to like 2 months later, because let's be honest, people are going to play Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto for multiplayer. So it's like, I'd rather you release the goddamn multiplayer first than, than the single player, which is stupid because most people are just going to jump straight online. Like, that's why everybody want Red Dead for, because the shit that you could do online. Like, I mean, single player is pretty cool, but most people,
Yeah. What y'all think? What you think about that, Z? Like, maybe that's it. I mean, instead of putting in 68,000 things of code and
my thing is, and I hate to be impressed, but looking at the glasses being half empty. I mean, I'm just getting older and cheaper because I find myself doing stuff I said I would never do. I'm complaining about every guy. I watch the news. My old ass actually watch the goddamn news now. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, if whatever it was already pushed back delayed, why not just give us the whole game?
Yeah.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean? If whatever, but I don't, like I said again, I look at it like this is them saying they want people to experience the single player. Mm-hmm. And that's why they're holding it back. You know what I mean? And, I guess it's like I don't know, to play our art. And then, and then we give you the multiplayer next month. Because most people, they get it. They go, again, like you said, straight to the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Don't even touch the, even like, I'll give you an example with Call of Duty, right? People fussed about, oh man, this didn't got no single player. And they released the stats people the actual play. This motherfuckers go straight to the multiplayer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, I would think that would be maybe a little public backlash, but motherfuckers, not releasing a part of the game. And 9 times out of 10, when the game does release the multiplayer, it's not going to work because they Rockstar 2K, they got shitty servers. Like same thing with big as NBA 2K is right now. That should be on dedicated servers. Big as Grand Theft Auto 5, the biggest goddamn game in the history of this generation, last year, whatever, was over 70 million copies sold. Grand Theft Auto 5. That should be on dedicated servers. I guarantee you, when Red Dead releases the multiplayer, that is going to be, it's not going to work. It's going to be very buggy. Hold on one second. I mute my mic, my uncle. Hold on one second.
Well, speaking of that, we're going to move on to the last two subject matters. Okay. Speaking of blockbuster games, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Who's played that? What are y'all thoughts? The thing is, it's pulling from PUBG big time. PUBG, I think it's like in the tens of thousands of views. Upon the release of Black Ops 4, it's down to 8,000 views total out of all the channels. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, it looks good. I mean, I just haven't played a Call of Duty game in a long time, so I'll probably pick it up. Maybe not, because now that Red Dead is probably coming out soon. So, I mean, it looks great. A lot of people say it's something different, so it looks good, and I'm happy everybody's enjoying it. But my Call of Duty days might actually be over. I don't know.
Okay. Let me tell you guys, I am with a chain on it, you don't see it. You everybody there?
Yeah, we here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I am enjoying.
I'm here. Hold on, I'm just on the phone with my uncle. I'm here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm here.
Okay. I'm enjoying this Call of Duty, man. And hey, I finally seen the zombies on the blackout mode, the battle royale mode.
Yeah.
And that's intense. Right now, they're only like in one little house or I'll say building. But just imagine you falling on the map. You have to deal with humans and these damn zombies, man. The shit is bananas. The game is dope. And I'm not a big Call of Duty guy. I buy them every year, but I usually play the campaign and I play a little bit of multiplayer. But this year, so I'm enjoying it more than any other Call of Duty. I don't understand it personally, but yeah, man, the game is fire, man.
I'm not the biggest battle royale person. I did enjoy PUBG when I did play it. It was intense. But I'm highly interested in giving this a try. But it's killing PUBG. I mean, what do you think? You think PUBG is killed? You think it's done?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable, man. I think PUBG on his way out, bro.
Listen, they suing everybody, man.
Yeah,
that's all they could do right now. Trying to bring anybody to court.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, it's definitely killing, and yeah, it's the talk of the town, man. So it's okay. Well, being that we talked about the two big hitters this holiday, Red Dead, Call of Duty, who you think is over a 12-month period? Who you think is going to have the most sales?
Over a 12-month period?
Yeah.
I think Red Dead, because over a 12-month period, they'll have another Call of Duty coming out.
That's funny. That's true, though.
That is true.
But I might have to go with Call of Duty because, like, Call of Duty just appeals to a lot of people, right? Yeah, especially kids. When it comes to Red Dead, like, that Western things, they may not be into that. Like, we like Red Dead because, 360 and PS3 days, it's different with us. Like, a lot of these kids, when they see that Western theme, they're not going to be really thrilled, like running on a horse. Like, they don't understand, like, let's be honest, Red Dead is actually not as simple to play online. Like, it's the fuckery that goes on, you feel me? So I don't really see them being attached to that kind of shit. So with Call of Duty, just, it's kind of like their thing. So that's why I think Call of Duty might have an edge over Red Dead, but Grand Theft Auto is different. But Red Dead, I think Call of Duty might outbeat it just because.
Yeah. I'm going to have to be
That's a valid point.
I'm going to be the tiebreaker. I think Call of Duty. I mean, that's all I'm hearing. I don't, you know what? Grand Theft Auto, even though you have a lot of hardcore fervor for Red Dead Redemption, I just don't feel that it's going to have the same appeal as GTA 5.
Yeah.
GTA 5, welcome to PC world. That's why that's still up and running. The mods in it are crazy. Homie King's Blood had showed me the what was that, the Magneto mod and shit not too long ago. I mean, it's still running like it just came out a week ago. Like I am not saying that Red Dead Redemption won't be big. It will be huge. But Grand Theft Auto was like, oh my goodness. I don't know if it's going to be, oh my goodness, huge like Grand Theft Auto. It might be close. But this Black Ops mode, in the blackout mode with Black Ops 4, bruh, motherfuckers was talking about it at work. Everywhere I went. The age, race, denomination, male, female. That's all you heard. Black Ops. Like, holy shit, I haven't even played it yet. And I'm supposed to be the content creator. So,
Yeah. Hey, man, you guys are making valid points right now.
Yeah, definitely. All right. And for our Fallout 76 lore. Okay, who here on the panel is looking forward to Fallout 76? Okay. Everybody not at the same time. So, TRS isn't here. We're big Bethesda fans.
Man, we should have a cricket sound effect. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to hold on. I mean, I just want to wait and see. Like, you feel me? Like, this is going to be something different, and I know it's going to be online based. it looks nice, but I want to wait and see some gameplays myself.
Yeah,
you know, because I know it's gonna like it's you know they always release Fallout game with a whole bunch of bugs and shit. But since this is gonna be like supposedly online based, yeah, it's gonna be like a lot more bugs. So I feel like it's gonna be a lot of fuckery going on. So I'll probably wait and see for the patches to come out and pick up the game.
Yeah, it's hey, I know I sound like crap talking about PUBG where he said the rubber banding was fun, but that's part of the fun with Bethesda games is the bugs. I'm looking forward to the game. I am a little disappointed on hearing some of the things that it's the NPCs won't be there, because the NPCs do kind of make the game. That is part of the lore of the game. But we'll see how they supplement that. The biggest problem, though, this is mired in controversy, is that the big time Bethesda nuts. I mean, I'm sorry, not Bethesda, but Fallout nuts. Now, Fallout was not created by Bethesda. Bethesda bought it after Fallout 2 was created, and then they made Fallout 3 in the subsequent game. I forgot who owned the IP beforehand, but the Fallout games that came out before were more like the Wasteland games that you see now, like the over-the-top strategy game.
Yeah.
It had a lore or a story or a canon to it, to where, I don't know if you guys have played, but the Brotherhood of Steel, which is a popular element in the game, it's the motherfuckers that you see on all the covers with the big masks and shit and the big old armor. They weren't now this is how crazy this shit is getting. The Brotherhood of Steel didn't show up in the lore and the canon of the story behind Fallout until 2552. Fallout 76 is supposed to...
I'm back, baby. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. But Fallout 76 is supposed to be a prequel to all the other Fallout games.
That's your game. You like them Fallout games, don't you?
But these motherfuckers, they done fell off the deep end, Z. They're mad now because a certain faction of the game is being introduced in Fallout 76. They weren't supposed to exist yet. And now these people are talking about boycotting Fallout 76. So my question to the panel.
Yeah, okay.
How important is it with the canon that Luke Skywalker meant? I get it in movies. I get it in stuff like Star Wars. But in video games, how important is it with these quote-unquote backdrop stories to you? Like if they end up changing something with the main character, is that the deal breaker for you? Or is it just, are you just worried about the gameplay? I'll start with you, Zane.
With me? You start with me? Or you start with me?
Yeah.
You say what's more important, them sticking to the script of the game, or being
story,
or well, I will say this before. I don't know. Games have evolved so much, right? It went from, I guess, gameplay to graphics. You know what I mean? And I played games for that, but then you got games that you play for the story. You get caught up in the story, right?
Yep.
And I always give my example, like Metal Gear. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I used to be a big fan, and I played, was it Sons of Liberty? It was something that wasn't happening. That shit just fucking turned me off. Now, and this is when I, played the game as far as the character, I can't believe, but that shit just, like, really just turned me off, right? Now, you are a fan of the franchise, right? Or, you like Fallout type games. Yep. So maybe if they're not sticking to the script, maybe that may, because again, you're playing it from two different, I'm looking at two different pairs of glasses, or someone that follows comic books and say, "Oh man, that movie sucks." When I watch superhero movies like Avengers, I watch shit for the action. I ain't getting caught up in the story. I'm looking for the CGI over the top shit. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on, I don't have any emotion. I'm not invested in it whatsoever. You know what I mean? If it's fun, I'll play. I don't know much about the Fallout series story whatsoever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
What about you, Butter? What are your thoughts?
I mean, for me, honestly, like as somebody who reads comic book with DC always doing fucking reboots and all of that shit, I don't give it. I honestly don't care. Like people that cry about shit like that, honestly, just like get over it. You feel me? Me, I like change, because if it's gonna better the game, like God of War did, I'm all for it. If you're gonna do something to make my gameplay experience much more fun, that's all I care about, honestly. I mean, honestly, am I going to be probably bothered by some changes here or there? Maybe, but overall, if it's to better, the experience of the game, yeah, I'm all for it. Like, I don't, that kind of stuff I don't really like, think about too much, honestly.
What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I agree with Butter, man. If it's gonna make the game better, I'm all for it, man. Me personally, I'm not this specific game, Fallout 76. I could care less, but I'm sorry, bro. I'm not a big Fallout fan. I couldn't get into it, but yeah, man. I agree with Butter.
And just to add, like it's like the whole Assassin's Creed shit.
Yeah.
My fault. What I was saying is that like it's the whole Assassin's Creed shit. People was complaining after Assassin's Creed 4, like, oh, this shit is the same. Origin comes out, oh, it's different.
Yeah.
You can never win with these people, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of where I'm where Z's at. Well, the whole panel. I mean, we're like,
hold up,
we're like, who cares? I'm look. Yeah, when I go see the Avengers, I don't care that the Hulk fell in love with Scarlet Witch. I'm there to see. I might be there to see him punch her in the throat. I don't know. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I could care less about all that other stuff. And the thing that's crazy to me, but I'm gonna read something in the chat that I get where they're coming from. The thing that's crazy to me is how the fuck can you follow what happens in Fallout anyway? If you've ever played it, there's so many twists and turns. You talk to this person, now you're this. You're gonna turn into this wolf. There's all this other crazy. How can you even follow the lore in Fallout? It's crazy to me. But Banghouse says it's called continuity, MM2K. Bethesda broke continuity. Now this thing makes no sense. And he says God of War didn't break continuity. It's a sequel. Fallout 76 broke continuity. And he also says Fallout needs to redo its engine. I agree with that. They got to come.
But right about that. Yeah, I ain't. Their games to me have never been lookers down to Oblivion or whatever.
Yeah, you're right about that.
What do they use? Unreal Engine 2? What the fuck do they use in the goddamn game?
That shit be ashy.
Yeah, it should do.
Oh shit! Unity. They might use Unity.
I don't know. Right?
Unity.
They might use a Unity engine. That shit is like.
Hey, speaking of Unity, like not to change the subject, but I'm pretty sure I read that the new Battletoads is going to be on a Unity engine.
I hope not. I hope.
Did y'all read that?
Listen, bro, send me that link. If I can go in there, I need some.
I don't know where I saw that,
bro. I need some material for tomorrow's show.
I don't know where I saw that, but I could have sworn I saw that shit.
If they go up that motherfucker again, and that's like State of Decay, not be on dedicated servers that fully not for them. I mean, like that's crazy.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that.
Hey, Dirk, you being messy. That's your problem. You know what I mean? Now, to me, Sea of Thieves is the game of the pinnacle. Being messy. But no, I'm just saying, I hope not. You know what I mean? I hope not. I hope not.
You saw that new PlayStation game that make them daddy.
That's my white daddy. We talked about it today. We talked about it today on my show. Like I thought it was a joke. Post Up gave me that shit. Oh. He tore J Dub ass up with that shit, bro. I thought it was a joke, bro. It's a game about they make your own and lover, to meet your standards or something. Same. I'm like, whoa. This is nothing beyond Z.
Yeah, they had somebody on the cover looking like Terrence Trenton D'Arby, bro.
Hey, look like my man from Miami Vice with the ponytail. I said, this jokers be trolling and making it up. I said, this for real? I said, oh shit. Yeah, I said, I might avoid my contract on this one. Step out of character. Hey, J Dubs will be trying to take no L's.
He said he don't take no L's.
He said, man, I don't know. My internet been down all day, so I don't know what's going on. That shit, wow. Hey, could you imagine if Microsoft would have dropped that goddamn game?
Oh man,
we had to turn in the GameStop right now, man.
Bro. You see when they dropped that dog smooth, so he was shutting his channel down for months, just mysteriously. But that motherfucking game there, I said, damn Lord, listen. Hey, listen, if I was still a bot right now, I would tear them ponies ass up. All that diabetic game, I got one for your ass there, bro.
And I got them in the DM. They're gone. They're gone. They left.
They put the baby to bed with that one. They ain't lying. They came out the window with that one. Left field. Like, what the hell?
Oh, shit. Hey, while you was on the phone, Z, we was talking about we were comparing Black Ops 4.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption. So not 12 months, but in the next 6 months, who you think is going to be on top? Who you think is going to have more sales between the two?
I ain't gonna lie, right? I just being I've never been a big duty guy. Okay. The last one I played was World at War 2 for 360. And I got a code for Black Ops 4 or whatever.
Yep.
A lot of people say we're not buying it because of had no single player, this, that, and the other. And I've seen that they said actual physical sales are down, but they sold more digitally than they ever did before, right? So you have there's somewhere they're in the lanes, but maybe the sales are down, but the game is fun. I'm not gonna lie. It depends on, like I said, how they can keep what's called the blackout mode. I don't know what's my man Neff, he loves that shit to death. I mean, I was just, like I said, the TDM, I had to get the feel of it, but it's easy. I can see why people love duty. It's just something easy you can just pick up and play. Like for myself, I haven't played it in years since like I said, World at War 2. And I could always predict Gears. And I would say Gears does take a lot higher skill base than play Duty. The smallest pick up, but that's what makes Duty fun. Something you can just pick up, and shoot. But I depends, like I said, how they handle it. I think they may be on to something. Here's a question: do you think it can maybe still a little Fortnite shine? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the big thing. Well, it's already taken away from PUBG.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna mess with Fortnite because Fortnite is free still.
But duty is duty, you know what I mean? And
yeah, true.
I one thing I said, what I've learned, I guess I haven't played in forever. What I don't like about duty, you had the prestiges or whatever. They had everybody in one room together. Like they don't as far as your talent level, they just throw your ass in the single swim. You know what I mean? The couple of matches I was in with people that already the game just came out for Friday or whatever, already prestiged a couple times. I'm like, God damn, they must have played this shit sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's fun, but who will have more sales? Here's the thing. You said within a year?
6 months.
Or 6 months?
Because he said
he wants money back.
I'm not betting.
I think long term, Rockstar, Red Dead is going to sell way more. Okay. Because really, Duty got about a 6 month span. 8 months is going to sell what it's going to sell, and you get ready for the next one.
Yeah.
So probably maybe Red Dead. Okay. Maybe Red Dead. You know what I mean? Maybe Red Dead, because again, the hype for this game is, through the roof. You know what I mean?
So I don't think it's going to do as well as GTA 5. I don't think it's.
It ain't gonna do GTA 5 numbers, but it's gonna do damn good though.
Yeah.
I say depends on. I would say when the next generation starts or whatever, right? Because you see what Grand Theft Auto 5 that came out when a month before the next generation consoles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then a year later, they gave you what's called Grand Theft Auto 5 was a remastered or whatever for remake before the PS4 and the Xbox One, and we basically had that one game through this whole goddamn generation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it depends on long term of when they give us Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a good question. You know what I mean. Maybe this game Red Dead maybe on the market for
the whole
generation. GTA getting the whole generation to itself before they came out with something else. Now, here's the question: will they do the same thing for us? Red Dead.
I don't know. I can't see it. Because the PC support is questionable right now. That's a big thing for GTA 5 is that it got that crazy. Like, did you see Garrett with that whole Magneto? He was playing the Magneto mod and shit on PC.
Uh-huh.
See, you got to have shit like that to help give it more life. I don't know if it don't come to PC. That's why I don't think it's gonna. If it doesn't come to PC, that's why I don't think it's gonna be as big as GTA 5.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's good. I mean, eventually it will come to PC.
I hope so.
Eventually it will come to, it'll come to PC. I know the first one wasn't on PC, but eventually it'll come to PC.
Yeah.
As far as, the mods, but, being honest with you, as far as keeping it alive, the game makes its most money on the consoles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sells, those, I don't know what they sold physically on PC as far as Grand Theft Auto. And I would hate to question those guys' integrity. You know how they get their games.
Yeah.
But if you look in the top 20 MPD every month since Grand Theft Auto released on the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's been at least not the top 10, the top 20 for the game came out in 2014.
I think 60 months. I think
it came out in October of 2014. Yep. So for 4 years, it's constantly hit the MPD. Didn't miss a month.
So I think it was 60 months in a row. They say,
but I'm just it came out in 2013 on the PS3, the 360, in the PS3. But I'm just talking about for the next iteration of it. When it's been in the top 20. You know what I mean? At least the top 20 since then. You know what I mean? And it probably ain't going listen. And here's the thing, right? Because they keep with the chart packs and all that stuff. Until they release the next one, the next ones are still going to sell.
Yep.
It's still going to sell. Going to sell. You know what I mean? I ain't going to lie. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Now, when I think about it like that, it's kind of hard to see, Red Dead Redemption reaching that level of success. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? It depends on how they handle with the DLC and what you can do. But that's, shit. That's just think about that. Jesus.
They're really doing more with just 2 games than most games. People like EA that's cranking out game after game after game. No wonder why they almost starting their crew, man. They give them motherfuckers old biscuits.
Yeah, that's the question at hand. Are you? Without the how you say the backlash for the 100-hour work week, are you guys looking for? Are you getting it or no? You guys skipping it? I'm
not. I'm gonna be honest. See, this is where I might lose some. I don't like Rockstar games though.
Well, you're not the only one. I don't like Grand Theft Auto. There's too much going on. Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I get because I want to stream it. Of course, exactly. I said I was gonna try it, but I don't like Grand Theft Auto. Like what I mean. But I said I was gonna try it. Just stream it and maybe just play with you or whatever. Just to rob some steal. This is why I got duty. When you set the code, like I don't like duty. I played with nothing, but now I fucking love it. So maybe,
exactly.
Yeah, maybe I may, I like the multiplayer aspect of it. I don't relate too much, like far as why I don't like Grand Theft Auto as much. It's just too much going on, too much to do. You know what I mean? I get stuck in sidetracked. I go do a commit, then they got the cops chasing me, then ran me 5 miles away from my next into the, whatever I got to do. And it just fucking, I didn't got locked up on my way to the mission. I'm just getting, you know what I mean? Like, there's too much going on. You know what I mean? There's too much.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting it though.
Mm-hmm. I always give them a try. I always give them a try first. And
now you get caught up in the hype, or just something that you're looking for?
Yeah, I get caught up in the hype for like 2 weeks.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Even though I didn't finish the first one, because I'm not a big Western guy, but I just think this one looks pretty good. Plus, I just get all the game.
That's what I'm saying. You get caught up in the hype. Like, I understand. I know exactly what you mean. Like, I was like that. I would buy everything. Now I see. I just try to get to what I know I'm going to play. What I have time to play. Like, I was somebody today earlier called me. Was you just nothing but a casual? You might absolutely be right, bro. And if I do 2 hours in the game, bro, I might be shot for a day in them 2 days. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't have the time. You know what I mean, bro? Like I used to have. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't. Before I just get, before I just come home from work and not even work, when I come up, whatever, I'm going to play the game for hours. All you want to do is be out, bro. What time I do is just YouTube. As long as you got YouTube, then then you got the game. It's like it's just a lot, bro. If I get 2 hours, hour and a half, bro, I'm good. You know what I mean? I put a stamp on my chest. You know what I mean? I just don't have it in me to, just to play a game. I mean, I like gaming any less. Yeah. I just, you know what I mean? Maybe I am just.
It's priorities, man. It's priorities.
Yeah, but what considered a casual? Is it the games you play or the amount of hours that you play?
It's the game. I don't, even with that, Z. And one thing, even though Kratos is a fuck dude, I think he hit this right on the nail. He hit this right on the nail when he said, look, we've been playing for so many decades. We deserve a break. We still hard. We still hardcore. We still more hardcore than these bugs out here now. Look, we got families, we got situations with kids, all this other stuff. So we can't get into it like the way that we used to. But I think the thing that makes us non-casual, which still keeps us hardcore, is our affinity for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The fact that we know the culture, we know about these games. We can't help the time that we get for them, but we still know more than the average player that's just playing them casually. Like, oh, I'm bored. Let me figure out something to do with my time. It's either Golden Girls or play Candy Crush. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Well, I guess, but like I said, I just don't have the time. Not that I like gaming any less, But I just don't, bro. Like, god damn, I'm thinking right now my back catalog. I haven't really booted up Assassin's Creed yet. I got caught up on that damn, what's it called? Call of Duty. Yeah. And I've been playing that for the last few nights, man. You know what I mean? Before I was ready to go from game to game. I can't even do that no more. I'll be one game. You know what I mean?
Hard. It's hard to do that, man.
Yeah,
damn Monster Hunter, man. I still ain't touched Shadow of War.
Me either. Bro. I bought it at launch, man. I played for like maybe an hour.
I ain't even boot that bitch up yet, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I ain't touched, man. Shit, it's crazy.
You know what I mean?
beat Assassin's Creed Origins earlier this year.
Yeah,
I probably won't get the Odyssey the next year, to be honest with you.
Well, you know what? No one really wanted me to get Odyssey because I seen he was fighting monsters now.
Yeah.
He fight Cyclops and the Half Man would do something. Like, oh, you got monsters in it now? No. I'm all, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, you know.
They completely fleshed it out, and it's more RPG. That's right up my alley. So I
just want them to take the title off that Assassin's Creed off that shit. Just put something else, man.
Yep, I completely agree with you. It's time for them to just rebrand it. You know what I'm saying?
How could they, man? It's like rebranded Call of Duty. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. Now I will say this: they don't need us out. Here's the thing: I don't think they need it. They shouldn't come up with Assassin's Creed every year.
Yeah.
Remember, it took 2 years off, and the Odyssey felt fresh.
Yeah.
Well, how many years it took off? It's going to run back. Okay, whatever. It's going to run back into franchise fatigue again.
What y'all fuck niggas on, man?
They say it's supposed to take off next year.
You know,
so. This nigga late.
Stop playing Dream Daddy. You stop playing Dream Daddy.
Dreamweaver. His ponies are right.
Is this still a post of that DM, bro? I think they completely did it.
Yo, I knew that DM, yo.
When I seen that Dream Daddy and that picture of fucking Kojima, I was like, God damn, did these niggas is playing that game, man. These niggas taking each other out to dinner and shit. Like,
I dropped that Dream Daddy in there. Everybody, it was dead when nobody responded to nothing.
You know, that nigga Kratos had to run. You know how that nigga do. Like,
hey, I told Briggity earlier in the show, I said, I heard J-Dubs talking shit earlier. He was like, don't nobody pay attention to the Moss, man. We just muted. That motherfucker was bad. Bad, but I got on him on that, man. That was crazy. Big ups to
He was like, yo, is this real?
They posted on the side looking like Tears Trenton Darby, man. I was lost my stuffers, man. Man. Yep. But now we was talking about that Red Dead Redemption. You looking forward to that post up, brother? Post up.
You know what? I haven't played the first Red Dead Redemption, so I don't know. If I do get it, this will be my first Red Dead Redemption. But in terms of story, a great story, I think this is going to supersede anything that's been out so far in terms of story. Given the coverage I've seen on it and how detailed they are in the game, in terms of like in the winter, you'll have to dress up to winterize yourself. And things like that, just little minute details that add even more realism to the world. I think it's going to be off the chain.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of bangers coming out this year, definitely. And I got to, like I said, I haven't even a shadow more, man. But before we go, to get your thoughts on this post up, I will say, even though with all his fuckery, I will give Kratos the credit. He said that we're older gamers, we've been playing for decades, man. If we take a break, take care of our kids, that's fine. Still hardcore, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, man. Look, as you get older, you get more responsibility. I ain't got time like I had when I was young. I had no care. Look, I had no cares in the world when I was young, yo. I got up, you know what I'm saying, did my thing. I was out. It was just, you just had no cares in the world. You didn't have to worry about nothing really. But as you get older and responsibility came, my mom used to always tell me, man, when you get older, responsibility is going to kick you in your ass. And she was never lying, because the older you get.
Never lied about it.
On the real, the older you get, the more responsibility you take on it. Like I'm saying earlier, I got 5 children, so I got to prioritize what I do, how I spend, and everything. You know what I'm saying? My time and everything. So I'm like Z. I'm at best, I get to play like one game and get about 3 or 4 couple hours in that one game. After that, it's a wrap. It's over. It's over.
It's like you gotta find time to game. Man. You gotta
facts, yo.
Yeah.
I don't even beat games like that like I used to. I used to like just buy games and just beat that shit. And then now it's like I get a game, I play it, and I don't see that shit for like almost at the end of the month. It's like
It's crazy. Like, man, Z be out here, he like, what's good? He's like, man, it's whatever. We can play Gears, Call of Duty, move out the bed, then we can do a little mad, whatever.
Yeah, right.
We get the Gears, and we play about 4 or 5 hours. After that, I'm good, Shake. We only got 1 game in out of the 3, 4 games.
I've done shot my load. Talk that shit, man.
That's be over.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like shit, man. Like I know, like I said, I used to rush out to get games when they came out. Now, like I said, like I said, I still got to finish Spider-Man. I got to go to Spider-Man. I want to do Spider-Man.
Me too, Z, man. I'm with you now.
I got to finish Spider-Man, then Assassin. I wanted to be finished those 2 by the time Red Dead come out. Shit, Soul Calibur come out.
That's
tomorrow.
next week.
Yeah, I know Soul Calibur come out tomorrow. You know, I like my fighting games. You know, that shit for a couple hours and shit, man. I'm like, man,
he's not gonna make it. He know he's not gonna make it.
that nigga fall asleep.
I still got to beat Tomb Raider too, man.
Oh yeah, I know, man. I got that shit. I got started, man. Shit, fellow. I'm fugazi as hell.
It's just too many games and not enough time in a day.
Yo, I need more time.
Yeah, shit. Then when February come around, it's gonna be more game.
What's that? Jump Force come out in February? Don't, hey, you better not bring a Crackdown. Fuck, leave that shit out.
Crackdown 3 come out and shit.
Shit. But I guess we can close the show on this. I know we got some like. Do you have any? Well, any far as expectation when it comes to Crackdown? What's my man name? Just released some more shit saying that
Clobrill.
Yeah, released it. It's supposed to be awesome now, or whatever the case may be.
I just want the game to be decent, man. I just don't want it to be another 69 Metacritic. At least be in the upper 70s. You know what I'm saying? Just be a decent game. That's all I'm asking.
Look, I look at it like this, man. Metacritic don't determine what's a good game to me.
True.
I determine that. If it's plenty of games that got 69, I always go back to Fusion Frenzy. Got terrible scores, but that was one of the most fun games when you playing with other people that I've ever played. Fusion Frenzy was crazy, but it got low scores. So whatever's fun to you, if the game fun to you, play it. Don't let another person's opinion tell you what a good game is.
That's true.
But Z still gonna shit on it if he get in the 60s.
Hey, you gotta come out and get in the character. You gotta come out and get in the character, man. You know, right?
This is bullshit.
He already got his script laminated, man.
Hey, listen, man. You know I'm rocking, man. It is what it is, man.
That premeditated Xbox hate is on his way. I see it.
Hey, no, but I get it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I thought the police was bad. Them Xbox jokers hate me. They disrespect me all day on Twitter, man. What's that guy, Mike Morale? I said, maybe I was being a little mess. I said, Blackouts for greater than Halo 5. Don't at me, right? And they lost their mind and shit, right? You some people saying it because you got Sony's cock all up your ass. What does Call of Duty got to do with something? Like, you know what I mean? I can see if I said Killzone greater than Halo 5. That's an exclusive.
Yo,
I said a
multiplayer.
Dude.
That dude was talking about you being biased and shit, and then just take a month a whole argument with this dude. The dude had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. Like,
I had a little bit extra time. The Xbox community, man.
I had a little bit extra time. Like, get off. He kept telling everybody to get off of Z's dicks. Everybody on Z's joint so he can hop on.
Hey, I'm like, man. They was like, yo, like, bro, like, what the fuck? I can't have an opinion. I mean, I ain't been the biggest Halo guy. I'm just, I ain't gonna lie, and I'm gonna make this duty right here caught me off guard.
Yep.
It's dope.
Yeah, it is. I don't play duty. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a big duty guy, but I hate to say even like I said when I first time I played PUBG, and I didn't see it by looking at it, I actually got it. Why it was the whole survival. Just get caught up in that, trying to get to the next house, get your guns and all that stuff. I can see why people like duty so much because it's ready to pick up and just play. You know what I mean? I'm not saying people don't have skill when it comes to duty, but my second day I went with 21 and 14. Not the best record, but shit, when I was playing Gears, bro, like that, man, that learning curve on Gears, you know what I mean? I can see why people may not like it. It is kind of hard, you know what I mean? Comparing it, you know what I mean? Like Gears takes some skill. Like that shit ain't easy. Like, bro, you know what I mean? I'm just being real. I know it's two different type of games. Shoot, I'm just saying, like, God damn. I just thought when I was playing duty, I was, because I haven't played it in forever. I was going to go out there and get my ass just handed to me. Once I could aim with this one, I was rapping. You know what I mean? I go to that motherfucker. And plus I was 1v1ing people. And you know what I mean? Once I got, you figure what gun you're going to use or what class and stuff. Like, all right, shit. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It ain't bad. You know what I mean? So,
I know. You know what? I know this ain't popular for an Xbox guy, but I've never been into Halo, and that's not what brought me to the store.
Bro, listen. I've always said that also. It wasn't Halo. You know what I mean? Well, hey, again, for those who know what made me an
Halo though, like
what made me an Xbox guy, believe it or not, I like, well, first up, I like the fact that I had a hard drive and put my music up there and all that shit. That was cool.
Yeah.
But my first, between Xbox Live was probably Fable. My first, exclusive that I was, head over heels in love with was Fable. Caught up in that Jade Empire, you know what I mean? It was, back to back to back. I remember one part of Fable, it was the dopest part to me in Fable before I shut the hell up. When your mother had that bitch in the basement somewhere, had to fight like a pit bull or something. I'm like, she was blind or some shit. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I got caught up in the story,
Hey Z, that hard drive on the original Xbox.
What was it? 10 gigs? What was it? 2 gigs? Well, it never got 4.
I think it was 20. It was 20.
No, it was 10.
No, it was 20.
Oh, it was 10. It was 10. Okay.
The original one was 10. I didn't know it was that much.
The OG Xbox had a 10 gigabyte hard drive. 2 gigabytes was for security, so you only got 8 gigs out of that.
That bitch ain't never go down. That bitch ain't never go down.
Check this out though. Do you guys remember the 2K basketball and the football back in the day?
Yeah.
The PS2, the halftime show was only screenshots.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the Xbox had the
video.
Footage. The video. That shit blew me away.
Yeah,
that shit made me get Xbox, and I fell in love with that shit.
That's what kicked off the Power Wars because Xbox dudes were sitting on the PS2 when that 360 PS pony say, I
was like, fuck that PlayStation, nigga. I'm on this Xbox now. Then Xbox, then Halo 2, that Halo 2, that shit changed the game, bro.
Yeah, that shit was good. You know what?
Big Halo guy either, but that shit.
I was on my console war shit back then. Shout out to my. You got VG charts and shit. The VG charts was out back then. I just got my the guy that made it. I forgot my man. I'm bad with him. Anyway, I believe he's from Plainfield. I knew the actual owner of the site. He probably done sold it, whatever. Now I forgot my man's name. But make a long story short, that when Halo 2 dropped, and it was the only month, if I'm not mistaken, that the original Xbox outsold the PlayStation 2, and not so much that they actually turned a profit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It went from on the red. They made Halo 2 did crazy numbers for them. Wow. Made a profit and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that shit was big.
In a day and age where people are boosting about 2.3 million in 3 days, Halo 2 was doing 2.5 million in 24 hours.
Ooh.
It was
back then.
Yeah, back then. It was outbeating what's that MMO that was doing real good at the time.
You talking about Warcraft?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was competing with that back in the day. And that's why I say it doesn't do that anymore. It's not it doesn't have that nostalgia to where it's selling those many copies in 24 hours.
It's about time. They're talking about this is going to be an open world one, so we'll see. But they got to bring up some new franchises. There's got to be a next Halo. That's.
Oh, there's going to be a next Halo for sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I said, here's a question. We can put people through. How something you brought up last show is how can Microsoft reinvent it? You know what I mean? What I mean by that, you see again going back to duty, how they again kept it relevant. They see what's going on with Fortnite and eat up maybe into their sales or whatever the case. You got Fortnite with they call it the blackout mode with battle royale mode. You think a game? Listen, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe you can add a battle royale mode to Gears. You know,
yo, that would be fucking dope, bro. The way Gears is played,
or a battle royale mode to Halo, or whatever the fuck the case may be.
I mean, it'll be good in Halo, but I think Gears will be better. Like, because Halo people like. Halo is almost like it's that game, even if you add Battle Royale, because it's Halo and the way it's played, it's not really going to grab people. But Gears
it has to do something. What I mean by that, it has to do something. It has to evolve, right? Because younger gamers, much, you know what I mean? Like my grandson, Fortnite out, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. So they got to do something. He said they have to evolve. They can't just work and keep making Halo for us. And you know what I mean, and you know
But I think Gears will be better with Battle Royale because the way it's playing style is the fact that it's so gruesome. Like make the map bigger, like and let you play with friends, drive around. That should actually be fucking dope. Like with Gears,
vehicles and multiple. I mean, whatever they're gonna have to do. I mean, again, do something. Like I said, to make it. And I'm a huge Gears guy. You know what I mean? Without actually changing the dynamics of the game and still make it Gears, but they're gonna have to do something. With those, especially Halo and Gears, to make them evolve and maybe even appeal to a younger demographic or a broader demographic. You know what I mean? Because you do have, again, you have that Fortnite crowd out there. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever's to come up. You know what I mean? You know, and you see Activision did it. You know what I mean? With what do you call it? What do you call this shit? Blackout mode. I wouldn't be surprised to see a blackout mode. Even Battlefield is doing it. Blackout in the next Destiny, whenever it's Destiny 3, whenever that comes out, you know what I mean? Land, no weapons, go get your weapons and kill. You know what I mean? It's gonna have to do something and evolve. You know what I mean? If not, they're gonna become stagnant. You know what I mean?
I think we'll probably see some like Gears gameplay next month. You think after XO?
No. You're gonna see that shit at E3 next year, and then the game will release in November. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But like I said, you know, Gears is Gears. I mean, I don't expect too many changes in Gears. Maybe, you know, the story may be a little better, but it's going to still be for me to be Gears. I don't think it's that enough time for the turnaround, right? For them to change too much or whatever the case may be. I think they well left in production. You know, they just don't build on the assets they already had of Gears of War 4. I mean, maybe some major changes might come along with Gears of War 6. I'm just saying for Halo, whatever was the Halo Infinite, whatever, they're going to have to, because we can all agree, you know what I mean? I know I'm not the biggest Halo guy. Halo 5 did not have the impact on this generation as Halo 3 and Halo 4 for the 3. It didn't. Whether you like it or not, just being honest. And I know so you got some guys like, you know, worried on crap, those guys like, so they say, or just Halo guys or whatever. But as big as gaming is, he said, bigger than you guys, they're going to have to go out and find a way to. I'll give an example. Same way what Sony's Santa Monica did with God of War. Whether you like the game, they reinvented it, and it's now it feels like a whole new franchise. They was able to keep guys like myself that love God of War. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to my brother K Mega. I'm saying it's not God of War. You know what I mean? You know, I've just stopped doing it, man. You know what I mean? But you know, and reinvent it and be successful. You know, and it is kind of tricky because again, you have something that's a $1 billion franchise. You know what I mean? You don't have to. I'll give you an example, right? And not to rub my pony brother the wrong way. The hugest God of War was Spider-Man. Those are not $1 billion franchises. You know what I mean? Hugely successful. I would say that God of War had a bigger impact on this generation than Halo 5 did. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we talking, and again, not to this fault, but the way the games like Halo was set up that people, like I say, games and serve are right now still buying shit, still spending money. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But to change that, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? They're going to have to find a way to do it. Now, Activision, thus far, you know, they pulled it off, in my opinion. We're going to see if we could go back to the 6-month sales from now, you know what I mean? See if it, you know, if it really worked for them gambling, not having a quote unquote single player as people are knocking it for. But they're going to have to do something, you know what I mean? You know, here's my opinion. Maybe you may feel different. Get me close to that Halo. What's the next one called? Infinite. Is going to have a bigger impact than Halo 5. Oh, I would hate to say they doom and gloom that, you know, the franchise would be in limbo because again it makes money, but just saying for the overall. Or here's the thing, or by then we're going to need another exclusive from Microsoft that's going to have the same impact as a Gears of Force and Halo. You know what I mean? We didn't really get that this generation. Yeah, we always, I understand, because when I say to people, well, they had Sunset. Yeah, I understand Sunset, but those didn't have the same impact. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. Horizon Zero Dawn, whether you like it, had an impact like Uncharted 4. Then you had God of War. You know what I mean? All those that meaningful impacts on the we didn't get that, like I said, for us on the Xbox side of things, and this is what they're going to have to do. Sea of Thieves, you got to be honest. That wasn't the answer. State of Decay, look, that's not the answer. You know what I mean? That's what they need, and you know what I mean. And then if they get that, maybe Halo won't have to change. You can take you got to take some of the weight off Halo and Gears and Forces back, and you know what I mean. And
I told you. You got to take the weight off, and if you can strike gold and reinvent them, great. But there's too much.
If you can't do that, but you got to take some of the weight off of those things. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just mine.
Expectations because the expectations are getting unfair. Now you're expecting all this shit from them two because really that's the century.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So.
That's how you say it was again a recipe for disaster. They set themselves up with that shit, but
yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, folks. Well, it was a great show. Thank you, everybody. Hey, man, we got to do this again. I wish we can.
Oh yeah. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Definitely get everybody on early.
Is it like every Wednesday?
I was doing some software installation. My bad. I couldn't. I've been doing some audio stuff, but
Dream Daddy, Terrence Trenton Darby DLC, man.
Dreamweaver.
Oh shit! That nigga sound like the 6 Heartbeat.
I'm not letting up on that Dream Daddy. I'm not letting up on him. What they did to us with them dials, we ain't let that Dream Daddy slide out like that.
No, he's got legs. But with that said, big ups to the panel, my man Butter, Nxtgen720, my brother.
Sure.
Big ups for coming through, and my homie, the co-host. Dirk Griggity, TRS should be back next week. He's traveling. Mm-hmm. But with that said, everybody, peace out. And everybody have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace. Mm-hmm.